Good Saturday morning. Welcome to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Efforting to reach Buddy Martin. He's in South Carolina. Hopefully we'll talk to him in the 10:15 segment of the show. Last night, huge game. Marion County High School football. Vanguard gets their first win of the season on a blocked extra point with no time left on the clock at the end of regulation to beat Westport 13-12. Westport's offense could never get moving, couldn't do anything right, and then with 40 seconds to go in the game, drives down the field to score to get to 13-12 after the defense had recovered a Vanguard fumble for a touchdown earlier in the fourth quarter. Vanguard, though, blocks the extra point and holds on for a thrilling 13-12 victory last night. I mean, wow. It was one of the best football games, action-wise, the last 30, 45 seconds that I've ever been associated with. Very, very good night last night. I still am just beside myself with how that game came out. Amazing finish. Let's give you a rundown quickly of how the preps came out this week. Trinity Catholic, of course, beat Eastside on Thursday night, 45-21. As I just told you, Vanguard 1-point victory over Westport. Westport scores 12 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Loses by 1, 13-12. Bowles beats North Marion 17-6. A lot closer than anybody thought that game was going to be. Lake Weir puts it on Deltona 34-20. South Lake rolls Forest. Forest is 0-3 now. I really thought Forest was going to be a much better football program than this year. South Lake rolls them 44-14. All Saints Academy squeaks out a victory over OCA 29-25. Dunellen beats Wildwood, bad, 57-13. And Out of Door Academy, St. John travels to Out of Door Academy and takes it on the chin 42-0. This Vanguard game last night, we're going to have Coach Farmer on to talk about this in the 10:30 segment. Coach Farmer, I don't know how they did it. These guys, I couldn't live being a coach like this. It was down to there was literally no time on the clock when he crossed the goal line to take it to 13-12, 39-yard touchdown. The only thing that stood between the Wolfpack and their second straight overtime game was an extra point, but it got blocked. And I'm thinking last week they beat Forest. The Westport Wolfpack beat Forest on a double overtime 2-point conversion where they gave their big fullback the only play they gave him in the game, and he rambled in for the extra point from 2 yards out. I was thinking that's what they were going to do again. But they didn't do that. They tried to go for the extra point after they'd already missed one extra point. They'd already missed one extra point. Last night, there were 4 touchdowns scored and 3 extra points missed on both sides. Vanguard missed the extra point and Westport missed both theirs. So I thought they were going to try to go for 2 and win the football game, but they didn't. They went for 1, trying to go for the tie and go into overtime. Vanguard comes up big. The Alex Jones, the 6'4" lineman, he come up the middle, was able to get the block on, and it was over. And I'm sure the Westport sideline went from the high of highs to just the doldrums immediately. To work that hard. And this is a Westport team that's not like your mom and dad's Westport team. This Westport team can play. They may be outnumbered because of the numbers in 8A that they have to play with, but this Westport team is well coached. Matt Franklin has changed the philosophy at Westport. The attitude at Westport has changed. They do something called County Fair Day, where on Monday they just show up to practice and all they do is condition. That's what they do is condition. And you could tell in the fourth quarter they were still able to run, and Vanguard looked a little winded. But it doesn't matter. 13-12 or 56-0. A win is a win is a win. And Coach Farmer and his kids from Vanguard pulled out a win last night over Westport. 13-12. Tom James on the call. I'm going to take that call Tom James made. I'm gonna start plastering that. That's going to be like the greatest football promo ever. Tom James had a great call on the touchdown that almost gave Westport the victory, but it was not to be. A lot of stuff going on in the sports world today. Roy McIlroy at the Tour Championship makes a hole in a pocket. Adrian Peterson arrested, indicted, and arrested. There's more to that story, though, than you know. The Players Union approves HGH testing. That means some players could be back on the field this weekend. We got college football today, all over the place with college football. Let's talk about the college football schedule. Last night, Baylor, number 8 Baylor, rolls the Buffalo University 63-21. Cincinnati beats Toledo 58-34. Of course, on Thursday, number 25 BYU rolled Houston. And Louisiana Tech, North Texas played with Louisiana Tech coming out on top. Today's games, you got number 20 Missouri hosting the University of Central Florida. That's a 12 p.m. kickoff. I wouldn't sleep on this game. This may be a good football game to watch because UCF has a tendency to go play big in big games. Missouri's an SEC school. UCF's looking to say, last year wasn't a fluke. We won a BCS game. We're a legitimate program. They're going to go into an SEC environment, and UCF's going to try their best to win this football game. It's good for the program for UCF to play these kind of games, and it's good for Missouri. Missouri can, if they beat UCF and UCF ends up, 8-4, 9-3, Missouri can hang their hat saying that's a quality opponent we beat. Ohio State, after the debacle against Virginia Tech last week, they get Kent State. They're probably saying, thank goodness. Kent State, that's much better than Virginia Tech because Virginia Tech rolled Ohio State at home. In the shoe. Oregon gets a break. They're playing Wyoming today. Louisville taking on Virginia today. Virginia Tech gets East Carolina 17th. Virginia Tech ranked 17th now after the win over Ohio State. Stanford gets Army. Ole Miss gets a laugher with Louisiana Lafayette. LSU gets another laugher with Louisiana Monroe. Here's a game that I'm interested in watching. It's an 8 p.m. game. It's number 12 UCLA going into Texas to play the University of Texas. University of Texas got embarrassed last weekend. BYU absolutely embarrassed Charlie Strong and the University of Texas. But you got to understand what's going on at Texas. A change in philosophy is taking place. And you got to get worse before you get better sometimes. And Charlie Strong is trying to instill in these young men discipline, trying to instill in them a winning attitude, something that Mac Brown let go by the wayside a little bit. He's thrown 8 kids off the team. 9 now. I think he threw another one off this week. That's tough when you're throwing kids off the team. You get factions in the locker room that says, what is coach doing? If you got boosters that aren't backing you, it's a tough situation. But Charlie Strong, a man who has proven that he can win, was at the University of Florida, then at the University of Louisville, now at Texas. Has a set philosophy that he wants his guys to adhere to, his young men to adhere to. And if you don't adhere to it, you're no longer there. I think that's a good philosophy. Charlie Strong and the University of Texas, UCLA number 12. UCLA hadn't been that impressive, by the way. I thought at the beginning of the year UCLA would be maybe the team that gave Oregon the best game in the Pac-12. Well, UCLA hadn't been that impressive. Now they go into Texas, a Texas team that needs to circle the wagons after the embarrassment to BYU. I think Texas is going to play a lot better in this game than anybody thinks. Another game I'm watching is SEC and Big 12 is Tennessee-Oklahoma, because this gives me, I'm going to get to see, one, how good Oklahoma is, and two, Florida plays Tennessee soon, and I want to see how Tennessee looks against a quality opponent. Number 4, Oklahoma taking on Tennessee at 8 p.m. Of course, there's a game at noon I'm very interested in. But this game, it's an hour game, 60-minute game, and it may take an hour and 3 minutes to play the entire game. Georgia Southern, for the first time ever, plays Georgia Tech in Atlanta. And if you are not a fan of Georgia Southern or you're not a fan of Georgia Tech, this game is going to be horrible. You will not want to watch this football game. I can say that with all honesty, being a former attendee of Georgia Southern. This is not going to be pretty football. This is going to be fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive. Ooh, pitch out to the outside, fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive. Ooh, incomplete pass, fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive. That's the triple option. Every now and then they'll pitch it outside, but every now and then, they'll keep the ball and pull it out of the gut, but a lot of the ball will be going into the fullback's gut or the halfback's gut on the dive play. That's just how they do it, 4 yards at a time. If you like that kind of football, if you're a big fan of 1950s and 1960s football, this is the game for you. If you hearken back to the days when Army was the best team in the country, this is the game you want to watch. Otherwise, you better be a fan of Georgia Tech or a fan of Georgia Southern to watch this one, because it's going to be boring football by today's standards. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to effort to get Buddy Barton on the phone to talk South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, Kentucky next, right here on the Saturday Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks? No shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Hi, this is Kevin McDonald, your local Allstate agent. To get your quote, please call us at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is the place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of the Properties Salon in downtown Ocala. Here in Florida, we're all about summertime fun, but along with the warm weather comes humidity, which leads to the dreaded frizzies. Are you tired of checking the weather report every morning before deciding to flat iron your hair? Sick of looking like the Lion King every day by noon? Has God just not seen fit to answer your prayers for patience and silky, frizz-free hair? Well, your troubles are over. Come to the Properties Salon for one of our hair smoothing systems, specializing in Peter Coppola and and Saison keratin smoothing treatments, the Proper Teeth Salon can tame your unruly locks with these formaldehyde-free formulas. And with the discount code BuddyRocks, you will save 20%. Not fighting the frizzies? Mention the same code BuddyRocks to save 20% off one of our many services such as cuts, color, extensions, and manis and petties. Gentlemen, this special is not just for the ladies. We do great cuts and color for men too. Check us out at thepropertees.com for more information.
Big football weekend. Certainly a big game up in Columbia, and a couple others, even one in the Swamp. You wouldn't think of Florida, Kentucky being a big game, but it is a big game for lots of reasons. We go now to Franz Beard of FightingGators.com. Franz, probably the most important Kentucky-Florida game we've had in about 15 years around there.
Very, very definitely an important game for Florida because this is you didn't have the second tune-up game. You know, they always say that the most improvement comes from game one to game two. And typically you have that second tune-up game, which is against a little bit better opposition than the first one. And now you just don't know. You know, there's still a lot of questions about Florida. Kentucky does have 2 games under its belt, and they're coming in with a lot of confidence. This might be the most confident team since, I think, since probably that 2002 season when Kentucky came in and almost pulled off the upset at the Swamp. Florida won that game 41-34 when Kewan Ratliff ran an interception back for a touchdown, and then ran back a 2-point conversion interception for those extra 2 points to give Florida the win.
Well, Stoops has got him playing well up there. His defense, you know, if it's just Stoops coaching defense, he's going to obviously they'll be pretty good. Their offense is moving the ball, so the quarterback's having a decent year. I don't know if I can gauge their win any better than I can gauge Eastern Michigan, but this Kentucky team can put points on the board, Franz, apparently.
Well, they have a better offensive line than they've had the last 2 or 3 years. Let's start with that, and that should equate to improvement as far as moving the football. I like their quarterback better than any quarterback I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. Also, Patrick Toll is 6'5", and he's about 235, 240 pounds, and he's a very strong runner. You know, there have been a lot of comparisons that say he is Tebow-like. They aren't saying he is Tebow, but they're saying he's Tebow-like in that he's a big guy that once he breaks containment, he gets a good head of steam up. He's kind of a guy that cornerbacks kind of cringe at the thought of tackling, and he picks up extra yards because they kind of bounce off of him. So you've got him, and he's got some weapons. This kid Ryan Timmons, a wide receiver, is a kid that Muschamp even admitted the other day. Florida recruited at a very high level, and he ended up going to Kentucky because he thought he'd have immediate playing time there.
I believe Florida has lost their last 5 conference games. Is that correct?
Yes, they have. The Gators have. This will be the first conference opportunity for a conference win since the Gators beat Arkansas last year.
Yeah. Well, in this step back to respectability that Muschamp's put together, there are baby steps in some regards, but I think they passed the first test okay. The significant importance attached to this game because what's happening next week? They got to go to Tuscaloosa, and that's never good.
Good in Tuscaloosa if you're a visitor.
Yeah.
As we found out, with some pretty good Florida football teams that have gone there. The only really significant win that the Gators have ever had up in Tuscaloosa, they had that one in 1963, was Spurrier's first year when they went up there and got a blocked punt to win the game 17-13.
Actually, Steve wasn't a part of that game. He was part of the 64 game, and Tommy Shannon was. But that was the famous Dick Kirk run, if you remember. They won that one like 10-3. The following year, Spurrier had the ball on what he thought was a 1-yard line, or 2-yard line, was a 7-yard line. Late in the game with no timeouts, and he called a running play. and they couldn't get the field goal team on the field, and they ended up losing 17-14. So you're right; they haven't had a whole lot of luck. Now Steve's been back to Tuscaloosa since then, but I mean, it's just not a place you go win many games.
This is the ultimate test when you really think of it in those terms, buddy. For Florida, the Gators they've got to show that they're ready, that they've improved, and that they're going to be ready for the future tasks. Because you got to remember something: they got Tuscaloosa and they get a week off, then they're going to get a Tennessee team that you're saying is vastly improved also. So there's not going to be any real breaks.
No, there's not going to be breaks. And I think the thing is that we've talked about Murderers Row, and that's the first step toward Murderers Row, of course, is the game in Tuscaloosa, and it goes to the Georgia game. And if they survive that stretch, we said it 1,000 times over the summer, France, you know, talk about this. If they can somehow win 3 games out of those 5, they're looking at a decent season. 8, maybe 9 wins. But they can also go 1-4. So it's going to be interesting. I do expect Driscoll, and we talked about this yesterday with Mark Long, Driscoll hasn't run the ball at all this year so far. His legs are as good as his arm is in many ways. I think we'll see Driscoll a little bit more on the ground against Kentucky. It's a weapon they can use. And I expect Florida to win that football game by a couple of touchdowns. But, again, I'm not really sure how good this Florida team is, France.
Well, I think the jury's going to be out. They're going to have to win this game. And quite frankly, they're going to have to not only win this game, they're going to have a respectable game up in Alabama. I know that's still a week away, and we have to think about what is at hand, which is Kentucky. But here's the deal. If you don't have a good showing against Kentucky, you're going up to Alabama, a place where it's tough to play, and confidence is probably going to play a whole lot into that game.
All right, Franz Beard, appreciate it very much. We'll talk to you on Monday. Franz Beard, FightingGators.com.
That was Franz Beard, FightingGators.com. We'll take a break. Let's see if we can get Buddy Martin on the phone. Get Buddy on the phone real quick. Trying to effort to get him.
Yeah.
Buddy Martin, hi, how are you? So we just heard from Franz Beard, Buddy, and he said that Kentucky's defensive pass rushers are going to present quite the problem for Florida today. And now I'm reading that with DJ Humphries out and Chaz Green moving over to take his spot, that we're going to be starting a freshman on the offensive line against Kentucky today?
That's possible. I think Florida have no problem. They got a couple of tall guys, Dupree, the other guy, who are bringing pass rush, but there's things to beat that. If those guys bring off the edge, then you're going to see Driscoll going off the middle on the quarterback draw. There's ways of beating that. That's not. I mean, Kentucky's not the steel curtain on defense. Okay, so we'll see what happens. This is a game Florida should win. They're favored by 18 or so.
Yeah, 18-point favorites.
Yeah, I think Gator Nation is just a little jittery, but thinking about anything that may happen right now because they've been through much of like almost like battered. You know, I don't mean that to be in a domestic sense, but they've just been through so much the last year and a half or so that they think of anything they can that, oh, woe is me. I think this is a team that's ready to break loose and make a statement. I don't think they'll beat Kentucky by 4 touchdowns, but they'll beat them by anywhere from 17 to 21. Like I said, 14 before. Shouldn't be a problem unless they turn the ball over and make stupid mistakes. This is a pretty good football team, Tom. This team should have won 8 games, maybe 9, in the SEC East. Could have a shot now. If South Carolina wins today, all of a sudden it's a race in the SEC East. And as the team gets better and gets toward that date in October, whatever it is, the Halloween weekend, whatever it is, coming up in Georgia, you know what happens. And this is now 3 teams back in the race in the SEC East. If South Carolina wins today, even Tennessee, although they're going to get hammered by Oklahoma, at least they're getting mentioned. So there's 4 teams in the SEC. Remember, it hadn't been that long ago. The SEC East was the dominant division. Not so much anymore the last 5 or 6.
You say 4 teams, 3 teams in the SEC East, and you're talking about Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. Wait a minute. The champ last year of the East, Missouri, might have something to say about that.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Still not believing in Missouri.
No, I don't think I'm not believing in Missouri. I think we'll see. Let's see how it plays out. Here's the thing: anybody, if you want to throw Missouri's name in there, that's fine. Legitimate, because this is scramble right now. it's open. If Georgia loses today, it's definitely open. So this is the first big SEC game of the year. Other than A&M and South Carolina, even that was a loss from the other side for South Carolina. So, yeah, I mean, it's open. I think the team to beat is Georgia right now until whether or not South Carolina proves to be different today.
Well, Missouri plays UCF today, so that's got a Florida tie to it.
Hey, they could lose.
They could
lose to UCF today.
They could. Now you're up at William Bryce Stadium on the campus of in Columbia, South Carolina, up on the campus of South Carolina University of South Carolina. What's the feeling like up there? Are they still licking their wounds over the loss to Texas A&M, or have they moved on and now it's all about Georgia?
Well, I'll tell you, we came through Georgia yesterday and stopped over and saw our friends over in the Golden Isles and talked to a couple of big Bulldog boosters. They are scared to death of Spurrier. And they've seen it before. And I noticed that Herb Street's picking South Carolina. I picked South Carolina. I don't have a lot of conviction in that pick, by the way. I thought it was kind of being a boutique pick when I made it, but apparently other people are picking the same thing. There's no question right now Georgia has a better football team. But, this kind of games for Spurrier, people here in South Columbia are obviously thrilled to have Spurrier. As someone told me last night, a lifelong resident of Columbia, he said the thing people don't talk about is what the economy has derived from the Gamecocks and Spurrier being here for 10 years. The whole economy of the university and the football program, the restaurants and the motels, and it's a whole – Steve Spurrier is an industry, okay? So they love him right now. He could be the governor of South Carolina, and I think what we got here is a chance to – I love college football to see the unexpected happen.
Let me ask you this. How's the weather playing up there? Because I know that Georgia runs the ball, South Carolina throws it. Is it rainy up there?
Well, Terry Bradshaw always taught me that actually when it rains, the team that's throwing the ball has the advantage. I don't know if I buy into that, but he does have a little more experience in that. He always said to me all these years, because the receiver knows where he's going and the DB doesn't. Now, if that's the case, that favors South Carolina, because they got the passing team, and Georgia's got some vulnerabilities in that secondary. I guess they're young guys who are very vulnerable. Now, of course, we know about the bevy of running backs from Georgia. Gurley obviously is going to be the featured back. But I think right now the weather looks like it's about 50% chance it's going to rain. We're going to get some rain. And if it happens, I think it just depends on who takes care of the football. At that point in time, you like the running chances better than the passing chances. That's just me, but what do I know? I didn't win 4 Super Bowls.
Well, another game that our good friends up at Georgia are paying attention to that I said that unless you're a fan of these two teams, it's going to be terrible, terrible football to watch. Georgia Southern at Georgia Tech with the triple option on both sides of the football. This is a game that guys that remember Army being national prominence back in the 40s and the 50s, this is the only guy besides fans of these teams that's watching this game today. Don't you agree?
This is the game only Tom Schmitz could love.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But you know what? I like Georgia Southern's chances here. That bitter defeat they had earlier, they proved they can move the football. They can man up with you and play D. We'll see. I don't know how good Georgia Tech is, but I wouldn't be if I was a Georgia Tech fan. My friend Butch Futch is one of those who went there. I'd be a little worried about Georgia Southern today. We know down in Gainesville, down at the University of Florida, down in North Florida, that the bite could be bad from Georgia Southern.
Well, I think unless you're a fan of either two teams, this is unwatchable football by today's standards.
Well, you know what, Tom? 35, 40 years ago, they called it good old-fashioned Southern Southeastern Conference football back, of course, when Georgia Tech was in the SEC. I went to a 0-0 game one time between Georgia Tech and Florida. So, yeah, it's changed a bit.
All right, Buddy Martin, enjoy your time up there. Come back down here safe and hurry home, please. I'm tired of doing this by myself.
Yeah, hey, how was your game last night, by the way?
Oh, it ended up, I said on the radio earlier, we're going to have Coach Farmer on in the next segment. Westport scores from 39 yards out, Buddy, with no time left on the clock. 13-12, Vanguard. Westport lines up for the extra point, blocked by Vanguard. 13-12 winners. Vanguard over Westport.
Game. Well, I know she went on blackout radio silence when we were texting you to try to find out that. So something must have happened because I haven't heard back from Tom. So That's quite a thriller. That's a big win for Vanguard, and nothing to be ashamed of for Westport. They showed up and played well. So.
They did, and we're gonna reprise that call. I'm gonna let you hear the call by Tom James on Monday's Buddy Sports page. An amazing, amazing call to the end of that football game.
Looking forward to it. I want to hear it. That sounds great. Great job by you guys, Tom. Have a good day, and enjoy the football.
Buddy Martin, thanks so much. Buddy Martin Sports page and the Voice of Ocala joining us from South Carolina. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll have Coach Farmer of the victorious Vanguard Knights talking high school football right here next on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source. Regions Bank has big bank ability but possesses small bank agility. Utilizing tools like Raymond Andrews and his team of 6 mortgage experts with 100 years of experience in the mortgage industry and 50 years experience as members of the Regions Bank team. Mortgage lending is personal and important, and you deserve someone that will lead you through a positive process. Raymond and his team use local mortgaging processes like local appraisers and local closing to help you have a positive experience, and they habla Espanol as well. So whether you need a conventional, FHA, USDA, or VA loan, or you even need a construction loan, the mortgage team of your local Regions Bank has the knowledge and experience to guide you through the process. So contact Raymond Andrews and his team of mortgage experts at 352-854-4104. That's 352-854-4104. Regions Bank, it's time to expect more. Eye Care Center of Ocala is centered on patient satisfaction. Our friendly doctors and staff are here to serve all of your family's eye care needs under one roof. Our optometric physicians take great pride in offering every patient the absolute best in vision care utilizing state-of-the-art technology. We're located about 2 miles west of I-75 on State Road 200. You can schedule an appointment for the Eye Care Center by going to www.eyecarecenterofocala.com, or you can call us at 352-512-0560.
My name is Bo Briggs. I'm a 6th-generation Ocalan. I practiced law with my father at the Briggs Law Firm. Over the years, we've seen many changes to Ocala and many changes in our profession. What has not changed is our commitment to our clients. You will speak with and get to know your attorney. That will never change. A lawyer will personally handle your case, not a paralegal. So if you've been injured in an accident and would appreciate personal attention, you can reach us at 671-4600 or learn more at thebriggslawfirm.com.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
Your official news source, WOCA.
We're back on the Saturday Sports page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Let's go right out to the phone lines and let's talk to a coach who experienced the lows of low and the high of high all in about a 10-second span last night as his Vanguard Knights held off the Westport Wolfpack 13-12. Coach Farmer joins us. Coach, thanks so much for taking time out with us this morning.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to be here, man.
Coach, take me back through that last 8 seconds where you got him 39 yards from the end zone, and then pandemonium takes place.
Oh, yeah, we knew we had our skilled players in the game, and we know they used to make plays. They had been making them all night on third down, and they came out and made a lot of big plays early in the game, and we know we were fatigued at the time. So they run across and Patton the kid make a heck of a catch, and he scoots into the end zone. That's always tough to defend when you're fatigued. But You just got to make that play, and we did. And man, oh man, I'm like, whoa, I'm back against the wall right here. But it would come out, and then Quantez Speed tips the ball, and AJ makes a heck of a block on that extra point attempt. And man, that was just a big play right there.
A big play on the extra point attempt. Were you surprised they were kicking the extra point after missing an extra point earlier in the game? Were you expecting them to line up and go for two like they did in the overtime victory against Forest? Did it surprise you they tried to kick the extra point?
Well, I expect for them to kick the extra point. I mean, we were screaming on the sideline, call timeout because they're gonna go for two. But I'm like, heck, they haven't scored yet. You know, besides this right here, one big play right here. We've been stopping them all night inside the 5, inside the 10, even once on the 3-yard line. You know, so I kind of expected for them to kick the field goal too. And you know, I mean, we got to block it. Everybody else screaming, we got to block it. And if they were going to go for two, we're going to call a quick timeout. But just like we expect, they would try to kick the field goal, and we blocked it.
Now. You were in the position of winning by 1 point because you had a little mix-up in the end zone where you fumbled the ball. After a great goal line stand, your defense stood tough, stopped them on the 3-yard line, but then your offense gave the ball right back to them in the end zone.
Yeah, that's tough there, Tyus Fowler. With Alonzo going out, you know, with that that pulled hamstring, that kind of hurt us there, you know. And Tyus Fowler just, I don't know, it was like a missed handoff there with him and Nikoski. They and the ball landed on the ground and they picked it up in the end zone. That's always tough, you know. That's football. You know, and that gave them some momentum right there. You know, put some fire up on them because we pretty much had them. You know, we shut them out right there, running the ball, started right there on goal line again a couple of times. That was big right there on the 3. But we turn around and fumble, you know, and they pick it up for a touchdown. You know, momentum changes real fast in the game of football.
Let's talk about your running back that transferred from Lake Weir. He's a gifted young man, is he not?
Man, yes, he's special. He's a great kid to have on the team.
I'm trying to now. Did he? You say tweaked his hamstring last night?
Yeah, he tweaked it. It's not that bad. You know, we actually wanted to just take him out. You know, let him just take some time off of it. And we didn't play him much at all the second half. You know, he wanted to get back in. He didn't want to believe it was hurt. He wanted to play. He wanted to go out there and finish helping the team. The kid got a lot of heart. You know, you always want that kind of stud on your football team.
Now, Alonzo Taylor was the HDG Hotel Player of the game. Had 118 yards in the first 2 quarters of the total of 176. Anytime you can get one player getting almost 200 yards, you just got to feed the beast.
You got to feed him. I mean, why not? You know, how do you not feed him? I mean, we gotta find more ways to get the beast the ball. I like that name for him, and we're gonna feed it to him. I mean, we did Friday night. We're gonna do it again. A couple of times we got down there, and Alonzo got us right in the red zone, and we just got to capitalize. We got to fuck some more things to capitalize in the red zone. You know, we're a young football team, and we're moving forward. You know, I know we only scored 13 points, but we did some good things too. You know, after watching film.
Well, talk about Nikosi Perry though. He didn't do anything to hurt you real bad last night, and he did have a 6-yard touchdown run. You got to be happy with your quarterback play.
Oh man, Nikosi, he's a great guy, another great guy to have on offense. You know, Nikosi made some great decisions out there with the ball. You know, we got a lot of great things going with him running the ball too. I mean, you guys haven't seen half of Nikosi Perry, what he can do really with that football. You know, I like to see him tucking and keep it sometimes when Alonzo, instead of throwing Alonzo out in the flat, he just take it and go. You know, and he can do that. You know, but he delivers a nice ball. He makes great decisions, and it's hard for a defense when you got a mobile quarterback like that. You know, it makes it difficult, especially when he can run the ball. Did
you just last night? I was very impressed with Guthrie. the quarterback from Westport. You guys hit him hard, hit him often, hit him every chance he got, and number 10 just kept popping up and ready to go.
Yeah, he did, right? I mean, he was ready to go every time, you know, we hit him, we put a lick on him, and a couple times he dodged a lick or two, but he kept going. You know, they didn't quit last night. I tell you that Westport didn't quit, and that kept them in the game. No matter how many runs Alonzo had on their defense, they still came out and played offense. They didn't stop, so we had to go out there and play with them. I'll tell you one thing, they didn't sit down.
Now you're 1-1, tough loss against North Marion last week, but then you get back on the right side this week. You've had, even though this is your third scheduled game, you've only played 2 games, so it's like we're still very early in the season for you. And now Lake Mineola comes into town next week. What are you looking? What have you seen, or are you looking towards in the Lake Mineola game against Vanguard?
Oh, that's gonna be a great ball game. Lake Mineola played us tough last year, and again, you know, we've seen them down in 707 down there at USF this over the summer. So they got a great passing attack. They're gonna throw the ball around, and they play pretty good defense. So we just got you know, we got to find they can tackle Alonzo. We'll get Alonzo ready, and let him lead the way, and then we'll you know, have some more things out there for Nikolsky Perry to do. And defense, and we're just going to go out there and play sound defense like we've been playing the past couple of weeks. But we just got to work on just turning it up a little bit and do some things that we can do and do them better, you know, and just add to the equation.
Coach Farmer, congratulations on a great win last night. I hope Alonzo Taylor's hamstring's not too serious, because that is a gifted athlete you have running the football there for you.
Yeah,
and while we're talking about Alonzo and we're talking about Nicosi, let's remember your defense did, on 4 separate occasions last night, force Westport to turn the ball over on downs.
Right, that's big. I mean, you got to have a defense wins championships. You know, defense win big ball games. So, you know, as a head coach, I'm not going to go without a great defense. We're going to play great defense, and that's important. That's something we really focus on in practice, and we're going to continue to focus on playing great defense and having big stops. Because those big stops going to end up, when we really get things on track offensively, and it's going to really help us out in the long run.
From one old linebacker to another, I couldn't agree with you more. You know, defense, those pretty boys on offense can say what they want, but we win the football games. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah. Defense wins championships. I mean, you know, you got to play great defense, and we had 2 big picks last night too. You know, that I haven't mentioned on defense. You know, actually, yeah, it was 2, but you know, those picks that's big. You know, we had one that from Adrian Hope there, who went out early in the first half with who got poked in the eye, and he had a big pick there.
Yeah, that pick was huge at the very beginning of the game. And then Dante Lacorn, he picked what Lacon picked one off. Lacorn, picked one off, right. And I thought that had salted the game away. I thought that was the end of the football game with that pick.
Right. Oh yeah, and too. I mean, me too. As the head coach, you know, you think that's it right there. You know, we get the ball and we make some decisions. I thought we made a bad decision of trying to Perry threw the ball early that on that first that last series there offensively, and they stopped the clock. So again, you know, we got to make, you know, a lot of better decisions with the ball when we do have the ball in offense, and clock management. I mean, that's important. You know, we're big on that. So you know, again, it's things you work on, things you learn from, and things you get better. You don't make the same mistake twice.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Good luck to you next week against Lake Mineola, and good luck this season of Vanguard football.
All right, well, I hope to see you there next week.
Yeah, we are doing Lake Mineola at Vanguard. That's the game of the week.
All right.
Thanks,
okay.
Coach.
All right. Thanks.
Coach Farmer of the Vanguard Knights, victorious Vanguard Knights. Go take a break. We come back, wrap up the show telling you about Adrian Peterson. He was indicted. Lots of different stories on what happened there. Did he whoop his kid? Did he beat his kid? Should he be indicted? Should he not be indicted? I'll talk about that next, right here on the Saturday Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hey, Eddie, I'm playing Augusta in a few hours, and I need a fourth. Want to join us?
Georgia's close, but it's not that close, Alex.
Not Georgia, Golden Ocala. I'm a member at Golden Ocala, and this course has 8 tribute holes, like number 12 and 13. You know, part of Amen Corner, and the postage stamp, and the road hole. It's a phenomenal track. My family and I always have a great time at the pool and at the restaurants. They've got 3, you know. The kids love the tennis programs. My wife practically lives at the spa, and I've been bulking up with a personal trainer in their fitness center. Joining Golden Ocala was one of the best decisions I've ever made, aside from marrying my wife, of course. So you want to join us in a few hours?
Absolutely. I can't wait to play the first hole in golf and the road hole too. Hey, how do I become a member at Golden Ocala?
Eddie, just call 352-402-4343.
Luxury and great golf is affordable at Golden Ocala. Call 352-402-4343 to join.
The Terry Bradshaw Football Show is brought to you by the Artisanal Dish Restaurant of Ocala for healthy, tasty food. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill. Seating now available. Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood, one of North Central Florida's finest eating establishments. By La Cuisine in the charming setting of historic Ocala. By Prestige Auto Sales of Ocala and Bellevue. And by Gateway Bank, your new old-fashioned bank. Terry Bradshaw every week on The Source. Men, do you know your testosterone level? Are you experiencing decreased energy levels or unusual sleeping problems? Have you noticed you have less strength or endurance, decreased sex drive, increased irritability or depression? If so, you may be experiencing problems with low testosterone. If you're interested in a free testosterone screening, please call Rinstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. Again, that number is 352-629-5800.
Being the Culligan Man is not easy because he works hard every day for you here in North Central Florida. Whether you need bottled water delivery for your office, a home water softener, or water infiltration system, the Culligan Man can help you. At Culligan, North Florida, we have dozens of softener and filtration options, along with a host of media tank sizes. Depending on the exact hardness and usage of your water, we determine the size of softener you're going to need. And if you're on city or well water in one of our local areas, the in-home water analysis is absolutely free. If your needs are for the home, call Ocala Water Conditioning, 352-269-4312. For home or business bottled water in Ocala, call Ocala Bottled Water, 352-221-9875. Culligan of North Florida. A proud sponsor of Florida State football, heard right here on WOCA.
We're back wrapping up the Saturday Sports Page. Adrian Peterson was indicted by a Texas grand jury. He had to turn himself in yesterday. Last night. Posted bond of $15,000 was released. Has been deactivated by the Minnesota Vikings. That means that he still gets a paycheck while officials investigate. He's been indicted for whipping his 4-year-old son with a switch for bullying another child of his. Now, why is this weird? Well, I think anybody of my age or older, I understand that how you discipline children now has changed. We're a softer, gentler, kinder world. I get that. Now you put your kids in timeout or you tell them, no and stuff like that. I got spanked. By today's standards, it would be beatings. But my dad had a patent leather belt, a black patent leather belt, about 3/4 of an inch wide, that I got wore out with on numerous occasions. My grandmother would tell me to go pick a switch when I would do things bad. And I would go pick. I thought I was being smart. One time I picked and everybody who's ever been whipped with a switch has this story. I went out and picked the smallest switch I could find, the thinnest switch I could find, thinking, well, that's not going to hurt. Cut me like a knife. Spanked me on my legs and everything. And kids run around, they're trying not to get spanked. Yes, there are marks on his child's legs. The mother of his children took him to a doctor, and the doctors in Minnesota said, it looks like child abuse to us. Well, Adrian Peterson says he was whooping his child for bullying. The kid put his hands in the way. The hands got whipped. Kid was running around trying to run from him. His legs got a couple welts. To people my age and older, that's normal. He was disciplining his child. And here's what I get. A grand jury on Thursday indicted him. It's the second grand jury they put it in front of. The first one refused to indict him. It was put in front of a jury earlier this summer, and they said, nope, not child abuse, just a parent being a parent. So some prosecutor decided he didn't like that, so he put it in front of another grand jury. Now, I know this comes on the wake of the NFL with Ray Rice and the abuse scandal, the domestic abuse, but Adrian Peterson, in my opinion, was whipping his child because his child was bullying another child of his. He whipped him with a switch. And before all you parents of today's children say, well, you don't have any kids, you don't understand. I understand whippings. I understand I was a bad kid and got a bunch of them. I understand I'm better off today for it. I learned life lessons through whippings that I wouldn't have learned during a timeout. I learned that you don't go up to another kid and slap another kid because they take a toy from you. I didn't learn that because I got put in timeout. I learned that because when I did it, my mother whipped me. I knew that if I walked up to another kid when I was a little kid and slapped him, my mama was going to whip me, and I didn't want to get whipped, so that taught me not to slap other kids in the face. If my mom had said, you need a timeout, go sit in the other room until you learn. Next time some kid, what's a timeout? That'll bother me a whole lot. 20 minutes, I know. Oh, but 20 minutes to a child's a long time. Kids don't care. It's a long time for them at the time. But as soon as they're out of that timeout, they forget they were in there. Because it doesn't leave a reminder. Let me tell you, get whipped by a switch, and then you go to sit down, and that welt touches a chair or something. Oh, yeah, that's right. I slapped that kid in the face. I probably shouldn't do that ever again. Are you kidding me? Indicting Adrian Peterson. Yeah, that's the world we live in, I guess. I think that this is much to do about nothing, and I could be wrong. You know, I'm not a parent, but as I said, I got whipped a lot in my lifetime, and I'm not an axe murderer or anything. I bet if you do a lot of research, I bet if you researched it, a lot of these kids that take guns and shoot up schools and all probably had timeouts instead of whippings. I bet if we went and looked at all the school shooters and everything, they probably had timeouts. You know why kids that get whippings don't shoot up schools? Because they're scared of whippings. Nothing wrong with a good, healthy whipping of a child. And that's what this looks like. Adrian Peterson's son was bullying another child of his, so he took a switch and wore his little rear end out to teach him a lesson. Good for you for being a dad. In a time where there's not enough good dads in the world. Good for you, Adrian Peterson. No, don't say this is another NFL player just being violent. Stop it. This is a dad whose kid was bullying another kid of his, so he whipped him. And you're going to indict a parent for punishing his child? Stop it. You kidding me with that? Adrian Peterson should have never been indicted, and one grand jury didn't indict him. But now he's been deactivated by the Minnesota Vikings because, oh God, he's under indictment because a grand jury in Texas thinks he abused his child by taking a switch and whipping him. The world would be a lot better place if parents still use switches more often on their kids. Don't indict parents for that. Cheer them for being parents. How about that? You ought to give that grand jury a timeout. You kidding me? Going to indict a man because he's disciplining his child. It wasn't like he took a cord and beat the child. He didn't burn the child with an iron. He didn't abuse the child the way you see kids get abused. I know what child abuse looks like. You break a kid's bone or you beat him or you throw him against a wall or something, that's indictable. You got a kid that bullies another kid, pushes him in the face to get him off a video game, shoves him down, after you repeatedly told him 2 or 3 times that he can't do that, then your next alternative is to give a kid a spanking. That's what Adrian Peterson did. You kidding me?
Let's give it up for old asphalt and a new pair of shoes. Let's give it up for a good rhythm meeting a sweet melody. For a church cookout under clear skies. Let's give it up for good things coming together, like bundling your auto and other policies together with an Allstate agent, which can save you time and keep you better protected. Let's give it up for good.
To receive your comparative insurance quote, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333.
Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala, proud sponsor of Friday Night High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase process fixed rate allowance.
Fumble! I was so busy making my fantasy football picks that I forgot to stock up on inventory, and now I need cars fast. So I'm calling for an inventory blitz. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. This month, bring me in your old car, and you could score the nicer, newer ride you've been fantasizing about for just $10 down.
Sack your old car.
And start driving the nicer, newer car of your dreams for just $10 down. Don't get fouled by past credit problems.
Our For the People credit approval process is the game changer you've been waiting for.
We huddle up the banks and lenders to help you get approved and back in the game. So stop driving a car you hate.
Punt it and drive a nicer, newer car for just $10 down today.
I'm throwing in a Hail Mary to make my month, and I need your help. Trade in your old car, and you could drive for just $10 down. But don't wait till the clock runs out. This deal is over when my inventory is full. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit us at Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, this is Randy Briggs of the Briggs Law Firm. Traditional help for truly injured. We trademark registered this belief years ago as our description of our practice at the Briggs Law Firm. By traditional help, we mean that clients actually meet with a partner in the firm who will personally handle their case, not a paralegal. Well, what about truly injured? We limit our practice to injury claims having merit with clients who indeed have been injured. So if you or a loved one have been truly injured, compare our credentials at thebriggslawfirm.com or call us at 671-4600.
This is Allstate Agent Kevin McDonald, and our agency is a proud sponsor of the Marion County Friday Night High School Football Game of the Week. I grew up in Ocala, and I'm proud to support high school athletics throughout Marion County. For all your insurance and employee benefit needs, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333. Our agency has been a proud member of the Ocala-Marion County community since 1985, with offices in Ocala and the Villages.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The Secretary of State trying to forge a coalition against Islamic State militants.
Bottom line is that terrorists like ISIL have no place in the modern world.
John Kerry speaking in Cairo. Many world leaders eager to act quickly before the group gains more territory.
As many as 31,500 fighters could make up the ranks of ISIS, a CIA assessment tripling an earlier estimate.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern. Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson released from a jail in Texas where he faces charges alleging he injured a child.
The Vikings say he won't play Sunday against New England after he was indicted and named in an arrest warrant in Texas. His attorney says Peterson is accused of using a switch, a tree branch, to beat his 4-year-old son. The complaint was filed this past spring by the child's mother.
Fox Radio's Ron Flatter. His attorney says Peterson's a loving father who used his judgment to discipline his son. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories.
Sam Tucker woke to find crop circles in his cornfield that spelled out the word Geico. Was this a message sent by aliens? Sam went to Geico.com and saved hundreds of dollars with great discounts. He woke the next day to find new crop patterns had formed. They spelled out, "You the man." It seems the aliens were pleased indeed.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof, but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S. only. See store for details.
Right here on Fox Sports Radio. Every week coming live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes can save you 50% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. In case you're just tuning in, we've been talking a lot about Adrian Peterson. Sad story, disturbing story with Adrian Peterson and the child abuse situation. Stories out of Houston are chilling. Of the 4-year-old boy whom Adrian's son, who he is accused of abusing in a just hideous manner. And so we're kind of looking at all these stories that have come to place and pushed the games themselves off our radar.
Well,
it's week 2.
Yeah,
right?
People in the NFL are looking or adamantly waiting for Sunday. Please, let's play some football.
Well, you need look. You're right. When the game doesn't happen from Monday through the week got dominated by Ray Rice,
and it went so slow.
Yeah,
so slow.
It did, and the ultimate irony is that Thursday night was Ray Rice's Ravens.
And even that game, we're only talking Thursday night, 2 days removed, Saturday. It seemed like it was a week ago. With as much as stuff that you saw transpired on the news wire, as much as it was talked about it. I mean, every story seemed to have taken a back seat with everything that's going on with the NFL. From why is Greg Hardy playing and Ray Rice isn't? I mean, all these other things.
Well, God only knows what's going to come up, right? Because you have Hardy.
Right.
You have McDonald.
Yep.
You have these situations, and it's disturbing. Like I was really disturbed by the Adrian Peterson story,
as was I. And the thing was I had come back from an event yesterday and I saw it on the wire, but all the details hadn't surfaced. So what I saw was that Adrian Peterson was indicted. There was a warrant issued with his arrest. This was a headline that I saw. Warrant issued for arrest because he spanked his child with a switch. That's all I saw. I didn't see the pictures. I didn't know what it was or how he got to this point. But I'm like, wait a minute, he got in trouble for spanking his child. I was a little beside myself because I didn't know all the details. And then I was talking to my wife last night about it, and she asked me, because we're preparing for the show, she asked me, what do you think about it? And I was like, well, and I still had not at that point seen the pictures. It's like, I was spanked with a switch. I don't know why is that so wrong. And then, of course, I saw the pictures. Now, mind you, my woman calms me because there are some times where my kids, and even up to Zach, have gotten on that nerve that have pushed that button. And she's the one who puts her hand on my shoulder and says, breathe, calm down, because you can hurt somebody. So I know what my strength can do to my kids. And I know that what Adrian Peterson did was excessive and over the top. And he should be ashamed of himself for that. Because nothing that a 4-year-old could do could warrant that type of punishment.
Right. There's no deviousness out of a 4-year-old. Right. I have one living in my home right now, my little Anthony. And can they try you and push your buttons?
Certainly.
It's all about human nature, right? We understand that. There's days you're home from work. I want to put him to bed. No. Give you an attitude, the whole thing. And you discipline the child. You don't beat the child. You don't beat him, punch him in the face.
No.
And then go and, as the child's testimony said, that Daddy Peterson, by the way, that's a weird thing too, is it not? Is that creepy to you?
No, it is creepy.
Why did that? Yeah, Daddy Peterson. He calls him Daddy
That's
Peterson?
a little control issue. That plays into a whole nother psych evaluation right there.
Right? That's what I thought. I'm going, Daddy Peterson's creepy. No, I'm just Daddy. You're not calling me Daddy Peterson. That's weird.
Yeah, I always look out of the corner of my eye when my kids call me by first name. Lincoln, what? You lost your damn mind?
Yeah. The name's Dad. All right?
That's exactly right. Get it straight.
That's it. I'm Dad. Daddy, Dad. That's it.
Pops. Something.
Yeah, Pops.
Something,
right.
Dad, Daddy, Pops, whatever.
But not, I'm not, Anthony, or I'm not Daddy Gargano. That's weird.
Yeah.
Jay, that's not creepy to you?
No, that is. I was just over here laughing. That is funny. No, don't call me that.
And he's got a whooping room. All of a sudden, I feel like he's the sicko, the dentist in that movie.
Damn, cuz.
Stepfather. Yeah. Oh, God. I got that image.
Oh, man.
Oh, God forbid. All right, so we're talking a lot of that as we continue as football fans to be inundated by real-life issues.
Right.
And look, the reason why we're all football fans is to get away from real-life issues. See, when people say, I'm tired of this Ray Rice story, I don't believe it's callousness for the most part. I don't believe it's callousness not to look at the domestic violence problem we have in this country.
Right.
I think I just want to watch football, all right? That's my release. That's my shelter. I stick my head in the sand and watch football because I don't want to think about real life. Well,
true.
This whole season, this whole off season, and this whole and going into the season we've been inundated by real life infecting our football.
Well, that's what it comes down to, and because the NFL is so big, any story is a big story.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it happened, where it happened, who it happened to. We'll often play into it, but from the suspension of your second string cornerback due to smoking some weed to Greg Hardy or all these things, it's just at the top of the list. And this whole Goodell thing, was the national spotlight is on it because now you have some backwood reporter who, for everything that Goodell said in that CBS interview, wanted to prove him wrong. Well, we've never seen the tape. Oh, well, we're going to find out. Oh, yes, you did see the tape. Or, yes, you did get the tape. Well, we didn't know the hate. Oh, yes, you did. You've got someone, and they just run with it. So I'm eagerly awaiting football as well.
Should he step down? In your opinion?
No.
How come?
He shouldn't. I just don't see it happening.
You see it happen.
Your credibility is shot. Well, here's the thing. No, I don't. Look, I think that what he should do, or if I was in his position, I would say, you know what, I need to come out and just get ahead of this thing. You know what, I didn't do my homework. I didn't do enough to look at this, and he needs to just admit that.
Well, why didn't he do that in the first place? Here's the thing. This is why, from Goodell's perspective, this whole thing is ridiculous. All right? Because the minute, let's just say he saw the tape. Well, you got to come down to the hammer. Right?
Absolutely.
Let's say the tape was floating around the office. He did not watch it because he didn't want to know. He figured, I don't need to watch this tape. I know what this is about.
Right.
And he was not flippant with his decision, how his ruling, how it went down, but it was a little sloppy. And just say he didn't have as much. Say when it comes to domestic violence, he didn't grasp the issue, right? He
didn't grasp a bigger issue. I think that's all part of it as well.
Say he was insensitive to it. Right. So all right, so this is why the 2-game suspension comes down. Then he catches flack. All holy hell comes down, right?
Yeah.
Well, now's the time to say, I got to tell you, I was insensitive to this issue. I went too light on Ray Rice. I need to amend and fix my own shortcoming as being the leader of the NFL. If he does that, this thing's a one-day story.
I agree.
The cover-up is always worse.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I thought that when he came on, because I watch CBS News in the morning. So when he came on with Norah O'Donnell in the night and we're talking about the following morning, and he said it, there were so many holes in what he said, it just didn't make sense. You're not going to tell me that. You're not going to tell me that, oh, well, we didn't get a copy of the tape. So wait a minute. I know you guys do your homework. You're not going to tell me that TMZ, even if they paid for it, TMZ is going to get a copy of the big bad NFL didn't get?
Yeah.
You got too many guys in law enforcement. They can't tell me how many P-tests I've took in front of ex-FBI or ex-police officials.
Not really.
So you need to tell me somebody's not going to call in a favor.
You got
hey, man,
fixers, Ray Donovans, CIA guys, DEA guys,
you can get
FBI guys. You're right. I mean, stop.
And from a hotel in Atlantic City that's probably going belly up because they're losing business.
It's going. No, it is going bankrupt. It's done. And you could just say it's no coincidence that the tape gets sold to TMZ.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. So you're not going to tell me, don't tell me that story that we didn't have the tape. You had the tape. You should have said, well, we didn't look at the tape.
Amen. Lincoln Kennedy, Anthony Gargano, where the fellas on Fox come up, we'll take a more look at these games in depth from the point spread angle. Lincoln Kennedy, Anthony Gargano every week right here on Fox.
College fans.
He will score.
Yeah. College football.
10-5 house. The defense comes up with another turnover.
It's college football. Right here.
We are Fox Sports.
Know-how. Worn out shocks and struts make your car handle like a banana boat being towed by a super tanker. Fix that pavement pontoon now and get 4 qualifying Napa or Rancho shocks and struts for the price of 3 with a mail-in rebate offer. So stop sloshing around and conquer the job with Napa Know-how. Mail-in rebate offer for Visa prepaid card in the amount of the lowest cost unit at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 10/31/14.
These days, when I'm in a relationship, I feel like I'm alone.
Like there's no one behind the mask. No voice on the other end of the line. Are you looking for a car insurance policy totally devoted to you? At Geico.com, you'll find a sympathetic ear, a shoulder to cry on, butterfly kisses, and easy ways to pay your bill and manage your policy. We're waiting with bated breath to help you save money and talk about your feelings. Geico, 15 minutes could save you hundreds on car insurance.
Sports fans, this is the world champion handicapper Jeff Feld from Las Vegas. Saturday early college report against the spread. 13-2 to start the year, 87% red hot. And today, noon Eastern start confirmed. East Carolina at Virginia Tech is a guaranteed winner. Plus Boise, UConn, and 3 midday winners to go 5-0. 5-0 free on the message phone. 1-800-870-2283. Toll-free message 1-800-870-2283. Virginia Tech, East Carolina TV lock. UConn, Boise, South Carolina, Georgia, Notre Dame, Purdue, UCLA, Texas. 5-0, 5-0 against the spread. 5-0 guaranteed free toll-free message. 1-800-870-2283. Jeff Allen Sports wins. You can too. Build the bankroll. Toll-free message. Noon Eastern start. 5-0 free. 1-800-870-2283.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all on one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
Let's face it, nowadays it can be hard to find American-made products, and that's something that Cabinet Sales of North Florida is well aware of. That's why they're an authorized dealer of Wellborn Cabinetry, family-owned and American-made since 1961. Cabinet Sales of North Florida is your answer for complete turnkey kitchen remodels and whole house cabinetry. Their cabinets are finished with solvent-based enamels for a long-lasting finish that's second to none. Available in an incredible selection of door styles and colors to choose from to turn your dream kitchen into a reality. In-house design design, and drawing services are available. Come by and see our displays for yourself at the Floors of the Villages, 3935 County Road 216 in Oxford, or Exquisite Design Kitchen and Bath in Bellevue, right across the street from the Bellevue Library. So whether you're looking for bookcases, kitchen, bath, or outdoor kitchen, Cabinet Sales of North Florida is your one-stop source of quality cabinets. For a free estimate, call 352-427-2647. That's 352-427-2647. Cabinet Sales of North Florida.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala Restore at 926 Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give us a call at 401-0075 and we'll come pick it up. For more information, visit ocalarestore.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County. Building homes, building hope, building community.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Every Sunday, we've got the NFL on Fox right here.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Listen as the guys give you the most in-depth football coverage on the radio. It's straight from the TV through your speakers. Unbelievable. The NFL on Fox.
Hi, this is Howie Long.
This is Kurt Menefee.
This is Jay Glazer.
Hi, this is Trey Bradshaw.
This is Michael Strahan.
This is Jimmy Johnson. And your coverage of the NFL is right here.
It starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
We are Fox Sports.
Sorry for all the football on Fox Sports 1 this season. Today at 12 p.m. Eastern, Pittsburgh takes on Florida International. Then at 4, Minnesota travels to Texas to take on TCU. All live on Fox Sports 1.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio. We are the fellas. Lincoln Kennedy and Anthony Gargano. I've got my cheat sheet ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make some money. So let's go out to Vegas and let's bring in the professional sports bettor in Las Vegas, making his clients big money for over 28 years. He was voted by Wall Street Journal Smart Money Magazine as the #1 sports line in the nation. Two-time world champion Jeff Allen, the world champion handicapper Jeff Allen, is on the line. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing today, bud?
Good morning, fellas. Doing well. We got my helmet on, ready for a big day.
I know that's right. Off the back, because it was one that we had a discussion on earlier. I know the line is completely against it, but I think BC gets USC today. What are your thoughts, Jeff?
Well, that's interesting. Obviously, Southern Cal off the huge game. Sark has brought that winning attitude back in line here. Nice blowout winner over Fresno. The huge win at Stanford. A game probably they may not have won. They were dominated. They got it done. Stanford 413 yards. Southern Cal just 291. Difference in the game. Southern Cal came up with the big plays. The goal line stance, +2 on turnovers. Wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, he had a big day. 338 yards rushing against UMass Boston College. Last week against a very strong Pittsburgh defense, they gave up 300 yards rushing. This could be a spot here. They could be flat. But BC bringing back just 3 starters on offense, just 6 on defense. One thing I noticed last week in the trenches is Boston College was really, really dominated by Pittsburgh. I think Southern Cal brings that same attitude. Now, Southern Cal, they got a bye week coming up, then Oregon State, so no look ahead there for them. I see you're thinking about them tripping up the line 17. It's big. Boston College does cover in the spot as a home dog here. I don't know that I want to mess with Southern Cal and Sark right now. I think it could be close at halftime. I think Southern Cal pulls away in the second half.
All right. Hey, Jeff, let's look Irish. What kind of any hangover with the Irish? They dominate Michigan. Look incredible. Shut them out. Have Purdue tonight. How do you see that game?
Golson, last year he's out. This year he's back. 66% completions. 521 yards, 5 touchdowns through the air, 3 touchdowns on the ground. He's off to a fast start. Backup running backs with Bryant and Folston. They're getting it going on the ground. Defense is ranked overall 30th in the nation. And Notre Dame has got a pretty tough schedule, so they're going to be moving up the polls here. Historically, this is a rivalry thing, this game being played in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Field. Purdue in this matchup here favors the over. Purdue 11-8, last 8 7-1 over the total, 16-8 over the last 24 overall. The big number is very, very big here. It is a rivalry game. I don't like to lay big points in rivalry games, but Purdue's defense, 103rd overall in the country. They're horrible on defense. It's tough for me to make a case for them. Maybe a small play over the total.
Guys out there, I've seen his war room. He is definitely professional. JeffAllenSports.com. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for almost 30 years. He knows what he's doing. Jeff, I got to get your take on South Carolina, Georgia, only because big game in the SEC, but every game this year in college football is a must-win, definitely for South Carolina here.
Yeah, it's definitely a win. Dylan Thompson can't be confused with Connor Shaw. He is 45 of 78 on the season. He's got a couple of big interceptions, cost him in that first matchup against A&M. They were dominated by A&M on the home field. They had won 19 straight at home. Then A&M comes in there and just absolutely pushes them around. Revenge spot here for South Carolina. They lose by 11 last year in Georgia. Hudson Mason doing a nice job for Georgia. They're coming off the bye week, so Georgia's got the extra time to prepare. And what about Todd Gurley, the next beast coming up into the NFL? 200 on the ground 2 weeks ago, 100-yard kickoff return here. Georgia technically in a bad spot coming off the bye week. They seem to be flat, but Mark Richt has made a special effort. The last time they went to South Carolina, they got beat up bad by 30 points here. They're really focused, Georgia. The line is creeped up here. I wouldn't lay more than a touchdown here. I do expect a defensive war, though. I think the best feature, especially Mason, maybe struggle in this venue a little bit here. I think it's a low-scoring game. Georgia wins by the 4 to 7 points, but I think Georgia comes away with the victory.
Wow. That'd be awesome. Love it. Hey, Jeff, let's talk about the pros for a second. And how does the Adrian Peterson inactivated, that whole situation, affect New England, Minnesota? Going into the game, a lot of people are looking at the Patriots saying, hey, what's going on? They can't protect Brady. Are they not as good? And now no Adrian Peterson for Sunday. How does this game look to you, and what's the impact?
Well, for me, early in the week, I did play some Patriots, so obviously I got tremendous value. The line has gone from 3 to 6 almost instantly. Some places don't even have a line on it right now. You kind of like what you saw at Minnesota last week. Zimmer's brought in a physical attitude. Matt Castle, no turnovers last week. That was big. Only threw for 170, but no turnovers. Defense did a nice job. They got 5 sacks. 2 picks against the St. Louis operation, not to be confused with a Brady-type operation. Norv Turner doing a nice job on offensive coordinator for Minnesota now. Patriots are ferocious off the loss. 25-9 against the number off the loss. They're 10-1 against the number off a division game here. Are the Patriots really going to be 0-2? Probably not. I think it could be a distraction. Losing AP is a big deal for them. They big drop off in the running back situation. You got to like Belichick knowing a lot about Matt Castle as well, since he was behind Brady for so long. Patriots getting it done. Now, you lost all the value in the game. No question, the Patriots. And I was looking at the over in the game. I'm off of that now because with the loss of Peterson, that could hurt their running. If they don't run the ball and put the pressure on Castle, the Patriots get it done pretty easy.
Jeff, they say when you have an offense, you've got a chance. So what are your thoughts about San Fran and Chicago?
Well, I did play the 49ers at minus 6.5 points. You like what Trestman does on offense. Did you notice Jay Cutler after his second interception last week? He's got his head down. He's walking off the field. He's got his head down. His whole body language said he was defeated. Now, offensively loaded, Matt Forte, Jeffrey Marshall, outstanding. But what about the defense? What did they do in the offseason to beef up the defense? They did nothing. They looked horrible against a marginal Buffalo operation on offense. They're just average. 49ers bringing the 1-2 punch now. You got Frank Gore. He's going to get some rest because they got Carlos Hyde coming in off the bench. The Bears rushing defense, 29th last year. doesn't look much better this year. I think the 49ers put the ball on the ground. They pounded out, and this is the first regular season game, San Francisco in the new stadium. Bears 3-9 against the number last 12 as a dog. Bears 6-18 against the number last 24 in conference. Going out on the road to San Francisco, I know it's an important game for the Bears, and offensively they might do something, but I think ultimately they get worn down on defense. 49ers get it done at home.
All right, Jeff, it's Saturday morning, so where's the money line coming in on these college games and pro games?
Well, the college games really focused today. There's been some huge money coming in early. Kicking off here at noon Eastern, Indiana, a lot of money coming in on them to get it done with the monster offense they got. Missouri at noon. Syracuse opened up 7.5-point favorite. Now, the money's come in on Central Michigan to beat them. They're at home. They're now down to 3.5. Central Michigan could be the upset there. Also, mid-afternoon, a lot of money, believe it or not, coming in on Kansas for whatever reason. Charlie Weiss trying to get some victories over there. And also, Arkansas opened up as a 3-point dog, 3:30 Eastern start. They are now a 1-point favorite at Texas Tech. I don't know that I want to mess with the quarterback Webb for Texas Tech. I think he's definitely an NFL prospect. That's the early money coming in on college football.
All right, Jeff, where's the sports line? Give them the sports line number, please.
1-800-870-2283. I got a monster 5-0 package, plus the best bets non-conference game of the year. I got one game stands out by 5 touchdowns. 1-800-870-2283. A free weekend of winners. And don't forget about my website, JeffAllenSports.com.
Well, there you have it. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Thanks for joining us today, man. Really appreciate it. We'll be checking you out real soon, man.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
There he is, Jeff Allen, getting the money.
Oh my goodness, I'm busy taking down notes, trying to figure out how I can keep up. It's a tough one.
All right. Well, that Patriots Minnesota game.
That's another one, yeah.
I mean, how do you? It's interesting going into this. It's funny how we are, because week 1 is the ultimate liar. Don't you agree?
I agree. It's always been, yeah.
Week 1, people go, oh, and we always overreact to it. We always give the caveat, well, it's the first week, but then it plays out, and we go, oh, my God, look at this. This team's going to stink. This team's going to be really good. Oh, no. Are the Patriots done?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You take for granted that the Patriots over the last decade, of course, have had an average over 10 wins every season. So you think about where they're at versus Miami, you just assume that it's going to be a coast ride. But just like we talked about last week, there's some surprises. Don't sleep when teams get up for other teams, and then sometimes you have bad games. Miami gave you, like in that game last week against New England, Miami gave you a little bit of sight of how it is that you can negate a lot of that offense for Brady. Get to him. The offensive line looks a little shoddy. They've got some holes, but it's not going to happen every week.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. Let's sneak in a couple breakdowns before we have Mike Garafolo on Fox Sports 1. So let's get back to our breakdown. Who we got next game?
Ooh, 98!
Dolphins, Bills.
Miami, Buffalo, both winners. Miami beating the aforementioned Patriots. Link, who you like in this one?
It's a toss-up. I know we were talking about the Bills last week.
Bills
over the Bears,
in Chicago.
And I wasn't surprised that they came away with a win. I agree with Jeff Allen. There's a marginal offense on the Bills. They're getting better, but they still have some ways to go. I like Miami to start out 2-0.
I agree. Both on Dolphins next game.
Ooh, 98!
Falcons, Bengals.
Falcons were my play of the week last week, and they beat outright New Orleans. And I got them again this week, Lincoln. They're catching 5 on the point spread, but beyond that, I think it's a close one, and I think they win the game again, beat Cincy in Cincy.
I'm a little concerned with the Matthews injuries to the offensive line. They're not deep at that point. I think Cincinnati can get some pressure on them. I know they escaped one you and I saw differently. I thought New Orleans had them last week, and I was impressed, like you, for them to come back and win that game. But I don't think they beat the Bengals. I like Cincinnati here.
All right, next game.
Ooh, 98!
Jaguars, Redskins.
Jaguars put the ultimate scare in the Eagles up at halftime, shutting Chip Kelly's team out, only to lose going away. Now going to Washington, where RG3 threw 14 times at or behind the line of scrimmage. Couldn't do much offensively. Jay Gruden, Dinkin, and Duncan, quick hitters. I still like Washington in this game, but I'm disappointed in this in the offense. Yep.
You like the Redskins in this game?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going Jacksonville, bro.
Are you really?
I'm jumping on the Jacksonville bandwagon.
Why, you like that Chad Henne?
Well, I mean, you know what? I was surprised they were able to do what they did last week to your boys. So I like Jacksonville. I think Washington's problems definitely start with their offense and the fact that RG and Jay Gruden aren't gelling.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some more issues there. And the thing is, I saw RG pick himself off the ground. Very deflated a couple times in that Houston game because the pressure of J.J. Watt and everybody else got to him. And now he's thinking more than he should be about playing. And that does not go well for a quarterback. You just got to go through and trust yourself and trust your coach and stuff. I like Jacksonville upset.
Tell him, Link. All right, I got the skins.
Go big.
All right, we have Mike Garafolo, Fox Sports 1 coming up next. But first, let's go to ILO and find out what's trending.
On Friday, Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson was indicted by a Texas grand jury on charges of injury to a child. Peterson turned himself in early this morning and was released after posting bond. KILT Radio out of Houston reported that Peterson beat his 4-year-old son with a tree branch as a form of discipline this summer, resulting in multiple injuries to the child. The Vikings have deactivated Peterson for Sunday's game against the Patriots. Elsewhere, Washington owner Daniel Snyder today released a statement supporting embattled Commissioner Roger Goodell. No, that actually wasn't a joke. He really did. No! Statement said in part, quote, Roger Goodell has always had the best interest of football at heart, both on and off the field. We are fortunate to have him as our commissioner, unquote. That a statement released today by Washington owner Daniel Snyder. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are Fox Sports! Fox Sports 1. In a groundbreaking new season, 16 of the world's top 115-pound female fighters will form a new UFC women's strawweight division. A champion will be crowned. Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.
Welcome back, fellas. Lincoln Kennedy, Anthony Gargano, right here on Fox. Coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios in Los Angeles, where 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Now let's bring in NFL reporter. Fox Sports 1 does an incredible job. And lots to talk about. He's a very busy man off of the Ray Rice duty in Baltimore. Mike Garafolo on the Progressive Insurance Celebrity Hotline. Hey, Mike.
Hold on. Before we get serious, though, that's my theme song you just played. I don't know if you guys knew that, because that song opens, do you remember the 21st night of September? And that's my birthday. So that's
oh,
isn't that nice?
I didn't even know that, man. I'm Big Earth, Wind & Fire, man. And we're related.
Exactly. I still haven't gotten a gift from you on a 21st September, and so this is your year, buddy.
You got something big coming your way. Don't worry about it.
Do you remember? You got something big, all right.
All right, let's get serious, Mike, because I'm disturbed by Adrian Peterson, this entire story. Seeing the pictures, graphic, it's troublesome. Reading the testimony, it's unbelievable, Mike. Daddy Peterson likes to hit me in the face.
Yeah, it's really tough.
This is an ugly one, Mike.
Yeah, and the thing about having the room,
yes,
you got
the whooping room,
belts and all this stuff, and the pictures. I mean, given the timing of everything, and I know we're talking in one case, we're talking about a relationship between a husband and a wife, and this one a son and his father. But Given the severity of all these things that have happened, everything we've seen this week, which obviously everybody has talked about this being one of the toughest weeks in NFL history, if not the toughest from a all-field embarrassment standpoint, this is a bad one. And, it's one of the things that I said to somebody else, and I don't mean to sound flippant about this, but it's amazing to me that none of this has happened to the Jaguars' backup right tackle. It's all been your star players, your running backs, Josh Gordon with the drug thing. I mean, the marquee players, I think that more than anything has contributed to the fact that this is such a tough time for the NFL.
And Adrian Peterson doesn't get bigger, right? Does it get bigger than Adrian Peterson?
No. I mean, other than quarterbacks, you're talking about a premier guy at a skill position. I mean, and to see this, and of course, you're seeing some guys say, well, this doesn't represent the whole, and there are a lot of good guys in the NFL, and I hope that people do understand that. But when it happens to one Adrian Peterson, it certainly feels like 100 backup tackles, like I'm saying. So this is a bad one, and I think that it could be a while before we see him on the field again.
We all collectively, you, me, and Ann have been around the game all our entire lives, and I know we can talk about whether it's stories of guys with our favorite teams or knowing the stories. Mike, the national headlines for football players, I mean, as we talked about, I mean, it's bigger than big. I mean, it's you can't. This week went by so slow. I can't wait to start watching football today because it's beyond me that all the things that we've seen time after incident after incident.
Yeah, and there's two ways to go about that. This is something that we've kicked around and talked about between our bosses and my fellow reporters. There's two reactions to it. One, I can't wait till the games kick off, wink, like you said, and I go back to watching football. And that was the case with the Ravens. And those players, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, boy, thank God we have a short week this week. And you heard it from a bunch of guys in that locker room because they couldn't wait to get back to football. And that's one reaction. The other one is, I don't know if I can watch football this Sunday. And I've seen a little bit of that on Twitter. I don't think that the ratings are gonna plummet this weekend. I don't think people are gonna stop watching football. I think it's their Sunday release, and it's been a ritual and a rite of passage, and something that is keeps friends and families together and all that stuff. I don't think that's going away, but I do think that if this stuff continues, if you continue to have these kinds of off-field incidents, and nobody's expecting that thousands of players are going to one day decide, okay, well, we're all going to be on our best behavior, nobody's ever going to get into trouble, but the magnitude of these accusations and the video and the more that we're able to see things these days and age with technology and with Twitter and with the number of people that get to comment on these kinds of things, it's really bad, and I think that if it continues, it will leave a bad taste in some people's mouths.
All right, on the field quickly, Mike. A lot of people are predicting the Patriots' demise. What's your take on New England?
My take, and the take of people around the league, is when I talk about this, when you trade away. Well, let me start by saying, Bill Belichick's methods are not typical, and he does some things that are head scratching to a number of people, and I think that he likes to try and prove that he's smarter than the average coach and GM when he does these things. But to trade away Logan Mankins and in the week one to be rotating your offensive linemen, I get it. You're making the point. Nobody's bigger than the team, and you were making too much money. We asked you to take a pay cut, and you resisted, so you're out of here. You need to have a fallback plan there, and the plan that they seem to have looked like they didn't have one. And I think that is more alarming than anything, because in this league, it's still about what happens up front, and with your offensive line, as bad as things are right now, you expect them to bounce back. You don't know what you're going to get from Minnesota this week, obviously, with what they're going through, but I do believe that these Patriots have got to answer some questions. They've got to have some stability up front before they do anything else.
And you know what? It's only week 2, but we did see a little bit of a typical for Jay Cutler when things aren't exactly going his way with Chicago. Do you foresee any issues? The fact that their defense is going to struggle, and now their offense seems to be down a couple of weapons, maybe the injury day-by-day situation. Do you think Jay Cutler is going to go into the tank early?
Well, there's two different questions. One, I did have questions about that secondary, especially defense, especially the back end of the defense in the secondary. So I do think that could continue to be a problem there, but I don't think that offensively they're going to be able to be held down for a while. They've got too many weapons, too many good receivers, and Jay Cutler, love him or hate him, and I guess I'm closer to hate. I hate the word hate. I don't mean it as a person,
I know what you mean.
He's not my cup of tea as a quarterback. I do think that he's going to be able to put up some numbers and throw the ball effectively this year. So I still like that Bears team. They've got to play solid on the back end of that defense for me to like. I just chalked last week's game. Sometimes weird stuff happens up in week 1. I don't think Buffalo's going to be a juggernaut, and I don't think Chicago's going to be terrible.
There he is, Mike Garafolo, Fox Sports 1. Mikey, great stuff as always, brother. We appreciate it, and maybe we can actually watch some football this week.
You got it, guys. Try and enjoy it as best you can.
Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
brother.
Take it easy. Here he is. Mike Garfol does a great job. Lincoln Kennedy, Anthony Gargano. We'll come back. Lots to do, including our breakdown. One more segment to hang, and we'll make it a good one. Ant and Link, fellas on Fox.
He bubbled it at the 20. It's college football.
To the 5, it's a scoop and score.
It's all your college football action. Right here. We are Fox Sports.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Ken Marcus was making a pastrami sandwich when he noticed an odd pattern on a slice of pumpernickel bread, one that spelled out Geico. Ken found himself visiting Geico.com, saving hundreds of dollars on car insurance with great discounts. Later, Ken felt conflicted whether or not he should eat the slice of bread that saved him so much money. But he was so hungry.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Battery. Modern-day fire. Powering everything from remote-control cars to the car in your garage. So when your car battery is reaching the end of the line, or you're wondering whether it is, stop by Advance Auto Parts. We'll test your old one for you, free of charge. And if you purchase a new Autocraft battery, we'll install it for free. Only if you'd like us to, of course. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back to the garage.
Most vehicles, most locations. See store for details.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line and a new spoiler and a new truck.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory Before exchange daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, loss proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
National Football League. It's the NFL.
Let's go. New series. Let's do this.
We have the coverage.
Throws the pass over. Intercepted.
The analysis.
The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. They're not going to repeat.
And we have the personnel.
Hey, it's Looney. This is Ben Maller.
Jason Smith, nice to meet you.
Jay Moore.
JT the Brick.
I'm TJ Reeves.
What a wild NFL Sunday.
NFL. The Jockey Club heads to Toronto, Canada. Catch all the action and excitement of horse racing tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Exclusive coverage begins tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.
Welcome back, fellas. Lincoln Kennedy, Anthony Gargano right here on Fox. Let's get right to it. Breakdown continues.
Blue 98.
Jets, Packers.
Jets and Packers. Packers looking to rebound. I love them here. Big spot. Packers win big, Link.
And I agree with you. If the Jets are still banged up in their secondary, it's not going to be like they looked last week against Oakland. It's going to be a hard one. I like the Packers here.
All right, we'll both go Green Bay next game.
Blue 98.
Lions, Panthers.
Lions look great. Absolutely great Monday night. I think this is going to be a big year for Stafford. Cam is back in Carolina. Carolina won last week.
Yeah, they did without him. Surprise.
I like, yes, Lions.
I'm going Lions here, too.
Yes.
Like them. I think Carolina has some offensive line issues, but I like the Lions as well.
You got Lions, too?
Yep.
I love it. All right.
Blue 98.
Patriots, Vikings.
We talk a lot about this game. I'm going to go New England. I think New England's not dead. Always go Brady. What do you got?
Well, the thing is that if Adrian Peterson was in the game, I think that the running game could give the Patriots some trouble. But with that being said, I don't foresee the Patriots starting 0-2, so I like the Patriots.
Next game.
Blue 98.
Rams, Buccaneers.
Hold your nose and take the Buccaneers.
Surprised they couldn't come up with a win last week against Derek Anderson in Carolina, but Buccaneers are going to have some injury issues already. I do like the Buccaneers.
You like the Buccaneers?
Yep.
Nice.
Buccaneers.
You
holding your nose?
No, I'm holding my nose. Hold on, I'll take the Buccaneers. Next game.
Blue 98.
Saints, Browns.
Saints and Browns. Browns almost came back on the Steelers, right? They're wild.
Yeah, it was a wild game. I was surprised.
Saints out to the big lead and can't hold on against Atlanta. I'll take New Orleans on the road.
I'm following that train, bro. I think they get it done.
Next game.
Blue 98.
Seahawks, Chargers.
Seattle and San Diego. Dude, what is it about the Chargers? You know the Chargers real well. What is it? How in the world do they always, absolutely always, fritter away a big lead, particularly if it's an opener?
Yeah, and here's the thing. When it comes to Phil Rivers, they've had since his career, they had the misfortune of starting off bad and rallying at the end. I think it's the same case. I think they dropped this game. I like Seattle, of course. They'll start 0-2 and then they'll make a run to the playoffs at the end of the season like they always do.
What is it? You understand it? Is it crazy or what?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely crazy. I don't see how a team can fall apart so often in games where they have a controllable lead.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's uncanny, that's for
sure. My Lord. It's unbelievable. All right, next game.
Blue 98.
Texans, Raiders.
Texans and Raiders, it's your squad, brother.
I'm telling you, and I'm thinking that this is a winnable game. Clowney's down. Watt is still a force, but I still like the Raiders in this game. I think Derek Carr has a game, and I think they finally get the running game off the ground. Even though MJD's not playing, look for McFadden and Reese in that compliment to be used. So I like the Raiders tomorrow.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I almost want to be. I want to go opposite side, but you know what? I'll trust you and defer.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to defer to the link.
And well, if you trusted me, you would just say, you know what, I'm riding that train with you, but you defer.
I do trust you. That's why I defer.
All right,
I'm going to Lincoln because I trust him immensely on the Raiders. So it's not even close. I go Lincoln and take the Raiders.
Thank you, brother.
You got it. Next game.
Ooh, 98.
Bears, 49ers.
The Bears and 49ers Sunday night. We all worried about San Francisco in the preseason, but boy, did the Niners look good against the Cowboys. Now, maybe it's everyone will look good against Cowboys defense.
Or I think that's something to do with it.
Or maybe not. Maybe the Niners are there. They got a little healthy on the offensive line, and they were able to protect. Vernon Davis is wide open all game long. They looked impressive. I don't see how the Bears stop them.
Well, see, the Bears, even with their offense, because they've got issues at wide receivers and they're a little dinked up, and they got issues at offensive line. I don't know how you keep Cutler upright in this game. More importantly, I don't know how his demeanor and his body language shoots a hole in his foot if he throws an interception. So I like the 49ers here as well.
All right, we'll both ride Niners. Next game.
Ooh, 98.
Eagles, Colts.
Monday night. Great game on Monday night. You saw the Colts on Sunday night against the Broncos nearly come back and bite Peyton. Mm-hmm. They were down big early. First half rolling Broncos, Julius Thomas all over the field. And then the Colts come back and make it a sweat, Lincoln.
Yeah, they did. It made it interesting. But here's the thing. You talk about Philadelphia struggling out the box against Jacksonville. Did they learn their lesson? You know better than anyone how this team was able to do it. And does that, if they spot Indianapolis, does that same thing happen? So it should be a good game. I think Indianapolis nips them by 3, so I'm going to go with Indy here.
Yeah, I kind of lean Indianapolis in this game too. I'll tell you, the one thing that was really interesting with the Eagles was Nick Foles. He did not play well. I thought he had open receivers most of the game.
Yeah.
The Eagles are also missing 2 key players on their offensive line.
Ooh.
So it's a worry. That's a potential worry for them. I like the Eagles long term, but I think this is a Colts game.
Yeah. I do too, but
that, again, and all about, you don't know young quarterbacks, man.
Oh, yeah.
RG3, we talk about him, but Foles struggling, and a lot's riding. Nick Foles has $120 million riding on this season.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. So there's going to be some pressure, and the fact that you've got a playoff, possibly championship caliber team with that offense. Oh yeah, a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you see too, right? I totally do. All right.
So you're rolling with Indy? You going Indy as well?
I'm rolling Indy too.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm rolling Indy too. I am.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Also, we as we wind down the program, that's the end of breakdown and good stuff. But again, Lincoln, the one thing that I'm going to take into tomorrow is, these guys got to wise up. You got to wise up.
Well, you're under a spotlight. I mean, you are. It is a privilege to play in the National Football League, but more importantly, some of these issues, whether it's domestic violence or whether it's disciplining your child, these are issues that face our country as a whole, this world as a whole, and shouldn't be taken lightly. And you got to know where to stand in your limitations. You got to be good. That's the only way I can summarize. Just be good.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out with Adrian Peterson. Again, it's a chilling story. But we do have football, big day of college football ahead. The Georgia-South Carolina game is going to be really interesting. Lots of stuff to look to. And then next week's a bigger stage. So we'll take care of that. Everybody, have a great week as always. Thanks for listening. And the fellas will be back next week for some more football.
We are
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Hey, it's Christy with Ocala Mac and PC Repair and Ocala Guest Wi-Fi to let you know we have you covered. We are the only local certified Apple and Microsoft computer company in Ocala. We are family owned and operated. From mobile repair to wireless networks, viruses, new systems, or security cameras, we do it all. Check us out online, ocalamacpc.com, or give us a call, 352-566-8324.
Tell them Nick, Madison, or Mason sent you and get free diagnostic.
Get your internet telephone service from the company that brought affordable internet service to Ocala in the first place. All is Safe is a sister company of Ocala Guest Wi-Fi, a company you've known and trusted for all your internet needs. Whether you need a phone or hundreds, we've got the products and services to meet your needs both now and in the future. Our plans include everything from local and long-distance calling to equipment maintenance and even software upgrades. You can count on All is Safe to give you cost certainty knowing that your bill will be the same next week, next month, or even next year. Call 352-450-8647 today to learn how to cut your monthly telephone bill up to 60%.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Stair workouts burn more calories than walking, up to 100 calories in 15 minutes. So 10 trips up and down between floors in your own house counts as part of your daily exercise requirement. And if you find yourself dreaming during power naps, it's a telltale sign that you're sleep deprived. Don't ever touch your eyes when you're flying, your nose, or your mouth until you do wash your hands.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. We are Fox. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire because that's how exotic it is. We are Fox.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source. WOCA.
Mayweather, then why don't we just quit the NFL? That philosophy would be don't look at Floyd Mayweather, then why ever watch a Ravens game again? They paid Ray Rice. They brought him back on the team. I mean, come on. Let's call it what it is. If you are really having a problem with us promoting a fight, Floyd Mayweather had this problem years ago. Why didn't you call me years ago and say, how come you're covering a Floyd Mayweather fight, JT? He just went to jail.
You know that we don't stop the party.
JT the Brick with Tom Looney.
If you miss any portion of the show, you can always podcast us.
Weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We are Fox.
You put your keys between your knuckles. Someone approaches you and you cross to the other side of the street. You lock the door behind you, maybe twice. Now you feel safe. You think you've made the right choices to protect yourself. Think again. Because if you're not eating right, if you're not active, or if you smoke, you're putting yourself at risk for disease. Learn to protect yourself from yourself at everydaychoices.org. A message from the American Cancer Society, American Diabetes Association.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Secretary of State John Kerry now heading to Paris from Cairo as he continues his trip to cobble together a coalition against ISIS. The threat, according to a CIA report, now triple what it was in June.
The White House says that's an indication that the Islamic terror group has had some, quote, recruiting success. But Josh Earnest went on to say that the administration believes that the president's strategy will be enough to counter that threat.
Fox's Molly Henneberg. There's a person of interest being questioned in the shooting of 2 troopers in northeastern Pennsylvania last night.
One of our members was ambushed and killed, and another was wounded.
State Police Commissioner Frank Noonan saying they're following several leads. Law enforcement officials from across the region, including New York and New Jersey, descended on northeastern Pennsylvania to help with the search on foot and by chopper. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Sam Tucker woke to find crop circles in his cornfield that spelled out the word Geico. Was this a message sent by aliens? Sam went to Geico.com and saved hundreds of dollars with great discounts. He woke the next day to find new crop patterns had formed. They spelled out, "You the man." It seems the aliens were pleased indeed.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
At the Home Depot, buy 1 or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof, but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off 1 or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S. only. See store for details.
The greatest sport on earth. We're talking college football. Mr. Ricks, how are you today?
I am well, my friend. We got Georgia, South Carolina. We got Tennessee, Oklahoma. Interesting matchup in Norman. And then your UCLA Bruins travel to the Jerry Dome to take on the mighty Texas Longhorns.
Don't get me started on that game. Don't get me started.
Who has more to prove in that game? See, that's what I want to know.
Well, look,
in your opinion.
Well,
because they both got a lot to prove.
No, I'll tell you who's got a lot more to prove is UCLA. We knew going into the season that Texas was going to be one of those teams that was going through a transition. Mac Brown out. You know, they had a lot of players suspended early on. It's a rebuild in Austin. That was not the case at UCLA. This was supposed to be a ready-made top 10, hey, we're ready for the Final Four college football team, and UCLA has looked anything but that, staggering against 2 teams that were a combined 5-19 a week ago. So, in my opinion, biased or not, it's UCLA because the expectations were much higher for UCLA going into the season than they were for Texas.
And we're going to dive deeper into this matchup today on Fox College Football today. But the question is, do they put it all together? Do the Bruins? I mean, week 1, it was all the defense, not so much offense with Brett Hundley. Last week versus Memphis in the Rose Bowl, offense had it going, defense not so much. So now in Arlington, Texas, will the Bruins put it together and show that they are a legitimate top 10 team?
You know, last week, there were a number of games that went on. I thought the most impressive, though, the game that we were all watching was the Oregon-Michigan State game last week. Michigan State.
That was a good game, back and forth.
You know, I was at my son's water polo tournament, and one of the guys on his team, his dad and mom both went to Michigan State.
Wow.
So they're all excited about this game. So, you know, you're there at the game.
They're talking Big Ten. You're talking Pac-12.
Yeah, but
with your USC and UCLA.
You're a parent, and you're at this game watching your son, but you're really watching the game. You know how it is? Like, you're at the game. All right. Oh, good. There's a goal. And you're like, what's going on with the game that you're really trying to figure out, right?
Drake didn't know that, right? He thought all your attention was solely on him,
mine
right?
was, because UCLA was playing later that night. But for these guys, you know, these parents, they were all into Michigan State. So what happened was the game ends, the water polo game ends, and the parents then were able to get a little break between games because it was a tournament.
Right.
So they raced down to this local place, and Michigan State literally at that point is leading 27-18. So they're thinking, hey, this is great, man. Michigan State's going to go on the road. They're going to beat Oregon. And I sat there with him and watched Oregon just avalanche with Mariota.
Were you telling him, hey, easy.
Wow.
Watch out for this high-powered offense.
Well, and it was a hot day up there in Eugene. You could see that Michigan State was wearing down. Next thing you know, you look up, 46-28 final. Oregon reestablishing again how they have truly become one of the elite programs in the nation. It was a bad day for the Big Ten, man. Would have been a disaster. We were watching that Nebraska game against McNeese, and Abdullah, saved the day.
All of the McNeeses.
Yes.
All of them.
How about Michigan? Is Brady Hoke still alive?
I was going to ask you the same question.
Man, oh man, that was just
hanging
unreal.
by a thread.
I mean, here's the last game maybe ever in this series between Notre Dame and Michigan, and the Wolverines go down 31-0.
So who laid a bigger egg, in your opinion? Michigan against Notre Dame or Texas hosting BYU and getting blown out by the Cougars?
Oh, it was Michigan. And I say Michigan because there was so much hoopla about this being like the last matchup between Notre Dame and Michigan.
Right. Can the Wolverines finally get the Irish because they had been struggling with them?
And the thing about it is that the Michigan fans were saying, well, it was Notre Dame. They pulled out. They were chicken, man. They didn't want to play us anymore. And after the game, when Brian Kelly talked about, beating them and shutting them out, was the first shutout loss for Michigan since 1984.
Wow.
365 games without getting shut out.
30 years?
30 years since Michigan had been shut out in a football game. And Brian Kelly, after the game, he did it really slowly, too. He goes,
yeah. Do it slowly.
Yeah.
Do it doucimo.
He goes, it was really, really satisfying to beat Michigan 31-0. And you're like, wow.
And what did Brady Hoke say?
What did he say? He said,
You tell me what he said, and I'll tell you maybe how he said it.
He said about the fans, he said, if you are true fans, you will stick by these kids.
And of course, there's way too much bass in your voice on that. It was probably like, yeah, if you love these kids, just stick by them.
If you're a true fan, you'll stick by these kids. And they're like, we're sticking by the kids. You gotta put some more
bass in your voice, like, hey, man, I ain't fall for no banana in my tailpipe.
They're like, no, we're going to stick by the kids. It's you we're not sticking by. The kids are fine. You, as a coach, look, if they lose to Michigan State, which they will, if they lose to Ohio State, well, that might be
they could have 5 more losses.
Oh, easy.
Easy on their schedule.
Brady Hoke will be gone.
And we know that our friend Steve Gorman and his brother Jeffrey have already given up on the Wolverines.
Yes,
especially Steve. He wants them out of there like now.
Well,
he's done with them.
If you're expecting, look, you're a Michigan
fan. And I'm sure most Big Blue faithful are. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years. And
why did they fire Lloyd Carr? Why did they fire Lloyd Carr? I told you a year ago, I'm at the kickoff luncheon for the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I host this every year, and one of the things we do is
MC Hartman,
and we see this new Hall of Fame Rose Bowl class, and one of the inductees was Lloyd Carr, because of their win to clinch the national championship. So I asked him, and he was pretty candid because he had also just been elected to the College Football Hall of Fame, and he goes, "Yeah, how are things going since I left between Rich Rod and Brady Hoke?"
Coach Carr said that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, did he say that to you off the record, or was that to the whole group there at the breakfast?
No, that was off the record.
Okay.
Off the record.
Well, now it's on the record.
It's on the record. But I mean,
hey, he's keeping it 100. What has Michigan done since they got rid of Lloyd Carr?
It's been a disaster.
One Sugar Bowl win right over Virginia Tech, barely. That's about it.
Do you remember his last game was beating Heisman Trophy winner Tim Tebow in Florida in the bowl game?
Yeah, they carried him off on the shoulders. Just like they did Rudy Rudiger in South Bend.
They couldn't get over that Appalachian State loss to open that season in 2007. It was like they came back and they ended up beating Florida with their Heisman Trophy winner in the bowl game, but the fans out there could not get over that. So, we got some programs already 2 weeks in are pretty much eliminated. Ohio State, another Big Ten team that went down hard as they got blown out by Virginia Tech in an absolutely ugly loss.
And they are underway right now against Kent State, trying to get there. Maybe some of their morale back.
Yes.
They better blow them out today. That's the only way the Buckeyes feel any better about themselves a week later.
And Virginia Tech, coming off that win, is taking on East Carolina at home. And how about the fact that East Carolina has taken an early 7-0 lead at Virginia Tech?
East Carolina almost beat the Gamecocks last week in South Carolina.
They did.
Spurrier's only got them by 10, and they're going to need a lot more of that today versus Georgia. If they can't defend their house again, we know what happened first game of the season for Texas A&M. I mean, this is the season today for South Carolina and Steve Spurrier.
And the other game that's going on right now, top 25 team in action, Missouri is taking UCF right now, and no score in that game. We're just getting underway there in the post-Michael Sam era.
Yep.
Missouri is 2-0, one of the big surprise teams a year ago, and off to a good start so far here in 2014. Coming up, we're going to be previewing a couple of big games of the day, starting with Georgia at South Carolina. And I mean, South Carolina is one of those teams, Chris, that a lot of people were talking about going into the season, could have aspirations of grandeur, and now they're in a must-win situation at home against a Georgia team that looked lights out in their opening game against Clemson. Georgia was off last week. Todd Gurley had a monster game, looked very much like a Heisman Trophy winner with 198 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 100-yard kickoff return. Georgia is a 6-point favorite at South Carolina. Steve Spurrier under fire.
Yeah, and you would think it would be more because the perception of Georgia out of the gate, they take care of Clemson. They look great. Todd Gurley's in the top 3 of most people's early Heisman list. I want to see where he is on Hartman's Heisman today. But South Carolina, we saw what happened. They were the only game that opening Thursday night versus who took it? Oh, Kenny Trill. That's right. And Texas A&M. So you would think that Georgia would be favored a lot more, but as you dig deeper in, Georgia has not done well in Columbia. Again, South Carolina back against the wall. This could be their season. This is going to be a closer game than most people think. I don't see Georgia running away with this game. Georgia quarterback Hudson Mason will be his first road game, first-year starter filling in for Aaron Murray. He was solid in their first game against Clemson, but I think this is going to be a closer game. I still think that Georgia wins late in the fourth quarter, but again, I think this will be a good matchup, and Georgia has had an advantage. They've had a bye week. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for South Carolina, but I really like the coaching matchup, especially in this game with Mark Richt, Steve Spurrier. I was fortunate to play for Mark Richt, play against Steve Spurrier and his team, so 2 Hall of Fame coaches in my opinion, and it's going to be a better game than people think. I do not see Georgia running away with this one in Columbia.
Also, we're going to be covering that Tennessee at Oklahoma game. What has happened to the Tennessee football program? Much like Michigan, they got rid of a Hall of Fame coach, and they have yet to recover from that, so we're going to preview that game. Dave Wannstedt, college football analyst at Fox Sports 1, will join us. All of this in our first hour here. Remember, it's 10 hours, 10 straight hours of college football today here on Fox Sports Radio. The first 5 with us, Hartman and Ricks. Now we're going to get to that Georgia at South Carolina game, the big preview, coming up next.
Let's do it on 3. It's college football.
Throws wide open. Touchdown.
It's all your college football action right here. We are Fox Sports.
Right now, during Guitar Center's store-wide savings event, every single new guitar, amp, bass, and keyboard is on sale. Save on exclusives from Gibson, Fender, Taylor, Martin, Yamaha, and Korg. Deals like 25% off an American-made Gibson Les Paul, now just $5.99. Take up to 15% off all studio monitors, keyboards, cajones, cymbals, and drumsticks. And with our unbeatable price guarantee, if you find a better deal even online, we'll beat it by 10% of the difference. Don't miss Guitar Center's store-wide savings event, now through Sunday.
There's a fire you get in your belly when you're working on your car. Nothing kills that feeling like a dead battery. Either way, the job's got to get done. Buy any new battery online at advanceautoparts.com and pick it up in store in just 30 minutes. Like a long-lasting Autocraft Gold battery, engineered with power frame technology. Job's done, and you can tackle your next big project. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back to the garage.
Visit advanceautoparts.com now to learn more. Attention! If you're a man who's using the bathroom more each day or waking at night to urinate, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Because we're sending free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to men with the symptoms of an enlarged prostate, including more frequent urination, trouble urinating, waking up at night to go, or troubles with intimacy. In a published clinical review, the active ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was found to reduce the symptoms of an enlarged prostate. Now you can experience the same results, and the offer is free. You only pay shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-877-1916. Again, if you're a man who's living with an enlarged prostate, you must call now for details on your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Supplies are limited, and when this free offer's gone, it's gone. Just call 1-800-877-1916. That's 1-800-877-1916. Call 1-800-877-1916.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
You should never miss us.
Don't miss it.
Why?
I don't know.
Because we're on iHeartRadio.
The idea, the very concept,
It was bound to happen.
a historic moment here.
This is fantastic.
How did you find out?
Search FSR.
Just repeat it.
FSR.
This is repeated as many times as necessary.
See how easy that was?
I think it's just pretty simple.
I agree. We are Fox Sports!
Fox Sports.
Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, catch all the baseball action on Fox Sports 1, America's new home for Major League Baseball. The San Diego Padres go head-to-head with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Batter up! Coverage begins tonight at 8, only on Fox Sports 1. Georgia, South Carolina.
College football today. Harbin and Rick's with you here on this beautiful Saturday for college football. We heard it right there. Only matchup of two top 25 teams on the ledger today, and that is Georgia at South Carolina. Georgia coming off their huge victory against Clemson. South Carolina, of course, got blasted week 1 by Texas A&M. They're at 1-1. Joining us right now, Seth Emerson, the Bulldog Beat with Seth Emerson from the Macon covering Georgia football. Seth, welcome. Let's talk a little bit about this Georgia team right now because that opening game against Clemson was mighty impressive. One game doesn't make a season, but did they look better than people expected?
I think they did, especially on defense. You knew that you had Todd Gurley, and he just kind of showed how spectacular he can be, but I think the reason that Georgia got so much hype out of that was how their defense played, and especially the way they shut down Clemson in the second half. And obviously, it's going to be tough to play that way every game. Just allowing one first down and a half, that's going to be near impossible and won't happen today. But if they can improve this defense a little bit, then they have a chance to be a really good team.
Seth, we know Georgia has struggled in Columbia, losing the last two meetings, and a couple years ago, a very significant loss, 35-7. And for the quarterback, Hudson Mason, first road game in a tougher environment. Will this year be different for the Bulldogs in Columbia?
The home environment is the one thing that makes you hesitant when you say Georgia should win this game and win it comfortably. Everything else is kind of lines up in Georgia's favor. Todd Gurley, even Hudson Mason in the passing game. I mean, look, he didn't have to do anything against Clemson, so he didn't. But he had a pretty good game. He was 18 for 26, and of those 8 incompletions, none were intercepted, none were even close to it. It's just one of those things where every day that goes by, you kind of nitpick, and the game got worse and worse. And I think Georgia is going to put up a lot of points, and the question is whether South Carolina can answer them. And with Mike Davis, they certainly have the ability. The question is whether with Dylan Thompson they have the ability.
Seth, Georgia was picked second behind South Carolina at SEC Media Day back in July. But the perception is that Georgia, at least going into this game, is about a touchdown favorite almost. Is that accurate? I mean, does one game on both sides make that much of a difference for this to flip where Georgia is a clear favorite in this game against South Carolina?
I think there is a tendency to get carried away. I think 6 points in Georgia's favor is probably fair, though. It's just that so many people picking Georgia. You do have to look at the fact that even in time, I was just saying Hudson Mason's performance seems a little worse as the days go by, but people are kind of really holding Georgia's victory over Clemson up maybe a little bit too much. That was a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter before Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb just went crazy. So Georgia didn't run Clemson off the field from start to finish the way South Carolina did Georgia 2 years ago here. I think a lot more of it may have to do with South Carolina and the fact they did get run off their own field by Texas A&M 2 weeks ago, and they looked okay, but not great last week against East Carolina. So I do think about Georgia being about a touchdown favorite is fair. My own pick was Georgia by a touchdown, but I don't do it with an extreme amount of confidence because I've seen Georgia come to this stadium and not be competitive really the last 2 times. So it is hard to visualize until you actually see it happen.
Seth, you know about the quarterback and Dylan Thompson for South Carolina, but Mike Davis, after getting hurt in that first game versus Texas A&M, came back with solid against East Carolina. But I'm looking at the Georgia run defense, linebacker Armalo Herrera. How important do you think that matchup is going to be with a linebacker and a talented back like Davis working back to full strength for South Carolina?
Well, Georgia's whole front seven is pretty good. Yeah. And that, I think, is the thing that look, you have Todd Gurley on one side and you have Mike Davis on the other, and you have a couple senior quarterbacks who are unproven. The difference, the real edge, I think, for Georgia is its front seven. And if they can stop Mike Davis or contain him on first and kind of second, on possible running downs, you've got the potential to send Leonard Floyd, a guy who probably is going to become a lot more famous as this season goes on, outside linebacker, as well as Jordan Jenkins and Herrera. They're doing some interesting stuff with him and Ramik Wilson, the other inside linebacker. Their front, all 4 of those linebackers are going to be playing on Sundays at some point. Yeah. And their defensive line is, it doesn't have any big names, but they're pretty good too. And Georgia, again, I think it's going to come down to whether they can keep Mike Davis from dictating this game. If they can hold Mike Davis on first and second down, like I said, those running situations, then they can really throw a lot at Dylan Thompson and make his day pretty long on those passing downs.
Seth, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Follow him at Seth Emerson, Bulldog Beat with Seth Emerson from the Macon. Seth, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Seth.
All right, now let's move on and get the South Carolina side of things as they try to get back into the conversation, still recovering from that opening big loss against A&M, had the win against East Carolina. Joining us right now, Josh Kendall, South Carolina beat writer for the state newspaper in Columbia, South Carolina. Josh, let's talk about what happened still and the after effect of an absolute embarrassment in that opening game against A&M. I know that the Gamecocks came back with a win against East Carolina, but have they recovered yet from the shock of what happened in that opener?
I don't think so, at least defensively at least. This is a group that's really looking for confidence. You've seen a swagger out of this defense for the last 3 or 4 years during this stretch when they've won 33 games. Jadeveon Clowney, DJ Swearinger, guys like that really help with your swagger. All of a sudden, they're looking around and wondering who's going to be that guy. Who are their playmakers going to be? They haven't found them yet. And, if things don't go well early today, we could see another disheartening performance from this group.
Well, Josh, Steve already mentioned the opening loss to A&M, and there's no other way to put it. How much is this a must-win game for Spurrier and his boys, knowing that they've already got one conference loss? Can they defend their house again? Could this be the season right now for South Carolina?
Well, if you want to win the SEC East, absolutely, this is the season. There's no reason to think if you lose to Georgia in your home stadium that, A, Georgia is going to go on to lose 3 times, and B, you're going to do all the things you would have to do on top of that to win the East. So If you want to win the East, yes, I believe today is a must-win. Steve Spurrier, though, is already sort of foreshadowing the fact that if things don't go well for us early, we're still going to be an enthusiastic group. We're going to come back to practice on Monday and play really hard and be excited about the rest of this season. Now, whether he is setting his fan base up for the fact that he doesn't feel great about this game, or whether he's sort of Bugs Bunny style trying to lure the Bulldogs into a trap like he has a couple of times here, I don't know. We'll find out in about 3 hours.
Josh, Dylan Thompson, a senior quarterback, obviously had a great deal of experience, but a lot of expectations when you have a senior at the quarterback. How does he handle the dynamic with Coach Spurrier, and is he the kind of guy that's ready to take on the task of bringing the Gamecocks back from that disappointing start?
You couldn't ask for much more from a demeanor and dynamics type situation. He is a Coach Spurrier acolyte. He takes everything Steve Spurrier says and goes out and to the best of his ability tries to do it exactly like Steve says it, which even Connor Shaw didn't do, although Connor Shaw had a lot of success doing it his own way at times. So Dylan Thompson is going to do exactly what he's coached to do, and Steve Spurrier really likes that about him. Where the rubber meets the road on Saturdays, making the plays, though, is still where now he has got to go out and show he can be that guy. If this was a team that had a dominating defense and an offensive line that was crushing people like they kind of expected to, but haven't yet, Dylan would be the perfect quarterback because he is off the field, the leader you want, the kid you want. He can make all the throws. If you put him in a situation like he seems to be in right now, where he may have to go out and make great plays and win you games and carry everybody along with him, that's a step he's still got to prove he can make.
Good stuff, Josh. And talking about that Georgia defense, how talented they are, and talking about Dylan Thompson, the quarterback, how important is it going to be, in your opinion, for Mike Davis to take some of that pressure off of his senior quarterback? He got banged up in the first week, came back last week, had over 100 yards rushing. I know it was East Carolina, but against a physical front seven for Georgia, how important is it for Mike Davis to show up today and help out his quarterback in the backfield?
Well, I think it's very important. South Carolina's got to control the ball to some degree. B, they've got to make a big play early, and Mike Davis is a big play guy. Mike Davis is a guy who can go 80 yards on any snap.
Yeah.
He's a home run hitter in the run game, and they may need to hit a home run early to get themselves a little juice, to get this crowd a little juice, to get some confidence. This is a group that, unlike any team I've seen here at South Carolina, this is my 5th year here, is looking for confidence. They need something to happen to them to give them that confidence. The other teams seem to bring it with them. This group still needs to find it.
All right. Hey, Josh, thank you so much. Josh Kendall, there's South Carolina beat writer for the State newspaper in Columbia, South Carolina. Follow him at Josh at the State. Josh, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Josh Kendall there. All right, we get that game, which is going to kick off in 3 hours at Williams-Brice Stadium there in Columbia. Now we're going to turn our attention Tennessee at Oklahoma next. First, here's what's trending.
On Friday, Vikings running back Adrian Peterson was indicted by a Texas grand jury on charges of injury to a child. Peterson turned himself in early this morning and was released after posting bond. KILT Radio out of Houston reported that Peterson beat his 4-year-old son with a tree branch as a form of discipline this summer, resulting in multiple injuries to the child. The Vikings have deactivated Peterson for Sunday's game against the Patriots. In college football, East Carolina has a 14-0 lead at number 17 Virginia Tech 6.5 minutes in. Pirate quarterback Shane Carden already 7 out of 10 for 141 with 2 touchdown passes. Elsewhere, number 20 Missouri has jumped out to a 7-0 lead over Central Florida, 3:40 to go in the first quarter, and number 22 Ohio State is already out to a 14-0 lead over Kent State 5.5 minutes in. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are Fox Sports.
Sorry for all the football on Fox Sports 1 this season. Today at 12 p.m. Eastern, Pittsburgh takes on Florida International. Then at 4, Minnesota travels to Texas to take on TCU. All live on Fox Sports 1. Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Rolling on here on a beautiful Saturday. College football today. Harbin and Ricks with you, covering all the games, previewing some of the biggest games of the day. We turn to Tennessee at number 4, Oklahoma. Joining us right now, University of Oklahoma reporter for Scout.com and Sooners Illustrated, Justin Hite. I want to go back to the bowl victory against Alabama and what a confidence boost this was overall for the Oklahoma football program opening the season with a couple of blowouts. I know Nick Saban was trying to downplay the game, but Bob Stoops certainly was not. How much did that sort of lift the spirits for the Oklahoma football fans?
Oh, absolutely. It was a huge game for them. I mean, it gave them building momentum, like you said, all through the offseason. You lose that game, and it kind of changes the tempo, especially when you look at a guy like Trevor Knight, the quarterback. If he doesn't perform well, you're coming into this game, and you don't know what Oklahoma's going to do. But instead, he throws for 4 touchdowns, really kind of lights them up. That defense is really tremendous, and all of a sudden, they've got this momentum and the belief that they can be, a top 4, top 5 team and compete for a spot in the playoffs.
And Justin, even though Oklahoma hasn't faced the toughest competition the first 2 weeks, this will be the best team they've played talent-wise, but it's a young Tennessee team. I mean, do you really see Bob Stoops and the boys allowing Rocky Top to come into Norman and pull off an upset?
I mean, you wouldn't expect it, but the way Bob Stoops has been talking all week about, and even, for the last month or so, is that this is a big game, which is really strange because at one point it was a 21-point difference. And I think that's great politicking by him. But like you said, the inexperience is huge, especially for Tennessee up front. I think they've got 10 career starts, whereas Chuka and Ndulue, an Oklahoma defensive end, has 19 in his own right. So you're looking at, like you said, at a huge difference in experience. But Bob Stoops has still somehow managed to play this up as a really big game.
Justin, where do you think Oklahoma has the biggest advantage over Tennessee, offensively or defensively?
I would definitely say defensively. The thing with Oklahoma's defense is they're going to put you in make it necessary for you to run with that pass rush. It's really, really dangerous. And with a guy like Justin Worley back there, who's kind of a traditional pocket passer, and the pass rush that they can pour on, it's really going to make them one-dimensional. And Tennessee is going to have to find a way to run. They've got some injuries back there, and I think Jalen Hurd, their true freshman, is still their backup right now. So you're looking at an Oklahoma defense that's going to force them to be one-dimensional in a way that they don't really want to be one-dimensional.
Yep. Justin, final question about Coach Stoops. Just how much does he hate the SEC? I mean, does he absolutely... I know he wants to win every game, every time he takes the field, but is it just that much sweeter when he beats any SEC team?
You're talking about the big bad wolf, Steve?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say off season it's probably a 9 or a 10. He tones it down a little bit in season, but no, I think he's definitely wants to beat the SEC, and his players have kind of echoed that statement. They want to kind of stand up for their coach and prove that he's not a liar. So yeah, he definitely is hated by most people in the SEC, and I think he's the one coach in the country that might be the rival of the entire conference, which is really strange.
Justin, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Justin Hite, University of Oklahoma reporter for Scout.com and Sooners Illustrated. Follow him at Justin Hite. Justin, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, guys, for having me on.
All right, let's take the other side of this as Tennessee goes into Oklahoma. Ain't going to be easy today, that is for sure. And joining us right now, Tennessee insider for Scout.com, Danny Parker. Danny, it's been a long time since Tennessee was truly in the conversation, and as a power in college football, you really have to go back to the Fulmer days. A 2-0 start. How's the optimism right now at the University of Tennessee?
I would say it's teetering on the positive and we'll wait and see kind of perspective. I mean, they haven't had a solid football team since maybe 2009, more likely 2007. You're looking at 41 losses in the last 6 years. Another rebuilding effort going on currently with Butch Jones. So it's an intriguing matchup, not only on the field but off the field. You know, you get to see where you are as a program. You know, some people say, you know, why even schedule this game? Why not buy out of it? Do what you can to get to 6 wins, but I don't think you should coach worried about getting to 6 wins, getting to a bowl. I think you need to, you know, prepare for the SEC schedule, and I think Oklahoma presents that opportunity. It gets you on national television, which is going to help recruiting, and you get to find out where you are and where your strengths and weaknesses are before you get into the league conference schedule.
Danny, Chris Ricks here, and even last year, Texas surprised Oklahoma in a game they were supposed to get blown out. So, as we know, anything can happen, but the key that I'm looking at is a quarterback, Justin Worley. I mean, last week started off very strong against Arkansas State. Second half, not so much, going 6 of 16. How important is it for the volunteer quarterback to be consistent against a very talented Oklahoma defense today?
Well, this offensive line is completely rebuilt. They lost almost every guy to the NFL. I think one guy maybe got released from training camp, but the rest are moved on. So there's, you know, like Justin said, there's not a lot of experience up there. The starting left tackle, Jacob Gillum's lost of the year already from a torn ACL in the first game, another catastrophic injury to Tennessee. So you're not going to see wide holes for Jalen Hurd, Martin Lane, the running game. So that puts a lot on Justin Worley's shoulders. You don't have probably his first or second top target. Von Pearson ripped his ankle up last week against Arkansas State. He's not available. Ethan Wolf, his top tight end, is injured a little bit. They say he may play this week, but you know, so it puts a lot more on Justin's shoulders. They're going to have to, you know, provide a clean pocket. If I'm Mike Bajakian, I'd probably give him high percentage throws, bubble the ball out to the flat, get some quick slants, get rid of the football quickly, keep his confidence level high. You know, in spite of the numbers he's put up the first 2 games against teams that won bowls last year, that's all well and good, but this is Oklahoma. It's an SEC level front, is what Justin and other coaches said this week. Their linebackers can fly. They make plays in space. So you have to tinker it down a little bit and get that confidence level going and maybe hush up the crowd a little bit at Gaylord Stadium. So it's a lot on his shoulders, but he's a senior. He's been in the trenches. He's gone through this before. He started in Tuscaloosa. He's seen what it's like. So the atmosphere and the athletes, it's not going to be completely brand new to Justin.
And Danny, win or lose today for Tennessee, something now probably won't be talked a lot about is just their youth. I mean, they're talented, but they're very, very young. Is this something that maybe you think could help some of these young, inexperienced players going into an environment like this, maybe get them a little more battle-tested before they begin SEC play?
Chris, I think that's where a lot of the intrigue comes in. It's not necessarily getting beat up physically. I think it's beat up mentally. You know, if Oklahoma comes out, can they throttle them? It's 3, 4, 5 touchdowns difference, and you have a bye week. Then you go to Athens, Georgia, where you face another top 5 team, and then Florida and all their talent come to Knoxville.
Yeah,
where's the team mentally after what happens in Norman today? So it's important to keep the game close. It's important for, you know, it to be still a game in the third, maybe even the fourth quarter. So it's baby steps, and like Coach Jones said, 47% of this roster that's traveling is traveling for the first time in their D1 collegiate career.
Wow.
And just one other note here, Danny, talking about Coach Jones. I mean, obviously the Lane Kiffin disaster, Derek Dooley could not get the job done. We've seen a big improvement, at least early on, with the defense, creating a lot of positive vibe on the defensive side of the football. But are you settled in with Butch Jones? How much does he still have to prove out there to really embrace the Tennessee fanship that he is the guy to carry forward to the future and bring back glory to the Tennessee football program?
In spite of starting over last year, you know, they took Georgia to overtime. They were top 10 at the time. Had them essentially beat until an instant replay late in the game. You had Vanderbilt beat at home until an instant replay continue to drive that allowed Vanderbilt to win the football game. Those instant replays are right. I'm not taking away anything from that, but those are games Tennessee was involved with. They were not blown out. Those are two of the better teams on their schedule, and Tennessee played with them. And then South Carolina comes to town. Tennessee beats the number 9 ranked team, gets that signature win. So you've seen signs of Butch Jones getting things corrected. And then he goes out and signs the number 4 recruiting class in the country with our scout network. And a lot of these kids are coming in. They're playing right away. They're filtering into the 2 deep. He's doing things right. There's not a host of off-field issues. He's saying the right thing. So I think a lot of people are behind Butch Jones right now.
Danny, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. Danny Parker there, Tennessee Insider for Scout.com. Follow him at the Danny Parker. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Appreciate it.
All right. And that game, of course, is going to be coming up. It's an 8 o'clock East Coast kickoff, 5 o'clock on the West Coast at Memorial Stadium there in Norman, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. And, boy, when you think about after Fulmer left, they bring in Lane Kiffin. And I don't have
was he there?
Yeah, that one year.
Boy, that was quick.
That was real quick.
I mean, it was like in and out. I'm just stopping in, going to do a press conference with my wife, say it's going to be great to beat Florida, and then I'm going back to Southern California.
Well, I know those Tennessee people fell in love with Mrs. Lane Kiffin. It wasn't Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I think they liked her more than they liked the coach.
Again, we talked about this earlier with Brady Hoke in Michigan. I mean, Philip Fulmer is in the College Football Hall of Fame, 152-52, but really a victim of his own success after winning that national championship the first year of the BCS in 1998. Tennessee fans were expecting that every year. Did not happen.
Well, Steve, when you push Bobby Bowden out, nothing surprises me.
No.
And I witnessed that firsthand. The all-time winningest coach in college football history pushed out at Florida State.
But you're coming off a national championship with Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was years ago. Push Bobby out.
Yeah, they pushed him out.
Tough seasons, push him out.
But Florida State has come back. Michigan has not. Tennessee has not. We're going to find out.
No, I'm talking about just the aspect of pushing coaches out. No matter what they've done, college football has become just as much of a business as the NFL. It's what have you done for me lately? Don't care what you've done in the past.
Rolling on with college football today. College football analyst Fox Sports 1 Dave Wanstead joins us next.
Hey! He bubbled it at the 20.
It's college football.
To the 5, it's a scoop and score.
It's all your college football action right here.
We are Fox Sports.
Sports fans, this is the world champion handicapper Jeff Allen from Las Vegas. Number 1 in college football against the spread. 13-2, that's 87%. And today, 3:30 Eastern start. Georgia, South Carolina, SEC Monster Lock, TV action. Arkansas, Texas Tech, Illinois, Washington, Purdue, Notre Dame, UCLA, Texas, 5-0 free, 5-0, 5-0 toll-free message. 1-800-870-2283. I'm on fire. Time to bury your man. South Carolina, Georgia is a lock. Guaranteed to win. Toll-free message. 1-800-870-2283. Take the lock. Plus 4 TV winners, parlays, and teasers. You bury the books. Toll-free message. 1-800-870-2283. You want to make money? $200 player wins $3,000 today, and it's all free on the message phone. 1-800-870-2283. Go to JeffAllenSports.com.
I'm Major George Patterson from the Salvation Army. Please stop by our family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala, where on Wednesday you have a 50% off clothing and bric-a-brac. On Friday, 25% off furniture and large appliances. And on Saturday, stop by to our yard sale from 8:45 to 11. Donations can be made by calling 352-732-4469 and we'll pick it up. Funds from the store go toward the services that we provide in Marion County.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi, Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retooled.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
PM Pacific.
We are Fox Sports.
You want access to our locker room?
Welcome, everybody.
Log on to foxsportsradio.com and register.
Welcome to paradise.
What am I going to see in there?
The locker room contains rants, upcoming sports events, info, and much more. Information. That's the locker room.
Enter identification.
Register now.
Enter password.
At foxsportsradio.com.
Oh, it's great.
Register now for the locker room.
You now have access.
At foxsportsradio.com.
Great to have you.
We are Fox Sports.
Fox Sports 1. Fight. In a groundbreaking new season, 16 of the world's top 115-pound female fighters will form a new UFC women's strawweight division. A champion will be crowned. Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.
Football today. Hour 1 of 10 hours right here on Fox Sports Radio. Steve Hartman and Chris Ricks with you. All right,
sir.
Rapid fire there. Those previews of the Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Oklahoma games. Joining us right now, college football analyst, Fox Sports 1, coach at the NFL level, coach at the collegiate level, now lending his expertise right here on college football today, Dave Wanstead. Coach, how are you today?
I'm good. Nice to be on with you guys.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. How is this for you, Coach? I mean, all the years on the sideline coaching at both the NFL and the collegiate level, taking a step back and sort of getting an overview of the college game.
Well, you know what? I've enjoyed it. It's been great. And there's obviously, you know, whether it's NFL or college, I mean, football is football. And having an opportunity to do this, it's been exciting. I mean, I'm still involved. I'm talking to coaches during the week, talking to players.
working with some great people here, obviously at Fox. So I've enjoyed it.
Coach, big matchup today with Texas and UCLA there in the Jerry Dome. And a lot of the Texas faithful wondering what's going on in Austin. You got a new coach, a lot of hype. We know Charlie Strong did very well at Louisville. But give us a coach's perspective when not only you're getting your guys in there and the recruits and your system, but just as far as the culture of discipline. We know the culture's really changed going from Mac Brown to Charlie Strong. Give us some perspective there as far as being in control of the locker room as the leader, as the head coach.
Well, I talked with Charlie this week, and we obviously have their game, as you said, today, and what's going on. Obviously, we know about all the injuries. I mean, on offense, they have been devastated from a standpoint of injuries up front, and then the quarterback, and they've got a couple good backs, but their line between suspensions and injuries, they're truly handcuffed right now as far as what they can do. The biggest thing with changing the attitude, which Harley, in the majority of guys, he loves them. But if you really think about Texas and you think about the last 5 years, they've had top 10 recruiting classes, so they have talent. Since Mac has won the national championship in 2005, there's a little bit of an attitude that good is okay. That going to a bowl game is fine. They bring these athletes in. When you look at the guys drafted in the Big 12, just look at that. In the last 5 years, Oklahoma's had, I believe, was 28, and they've had, and Texas has had 16. Texas has only had 4 guys leave early in the last 5 years. Only 2 players drafted early. So what does that tell me? Are they really striving to be the best? And it's very difficult. Jimmy Johnson used to always talk about this when we won our first national championship in Miami. It's very difficult to go from good to great. And at Texas, the expectations are great, and Charlie is trying to get them back to thinking and believing to be great. And good is not good enough, and that's the culture change that's going on right now.
Coach, I want to ask you about monitoring the emotions of a college football team. In the NFL, you just grind it out. You put the game behind you, move on to the next week. It's a business. We're watching right now Virginia Tech coming off a big road win at Ohio State, a blowout win against the Buckeyes. They're home against East Carolina, and they're down 21-0 in this game, coming off the big win on the road against Ohio State. How do you control the emotions and keep a team focused when you're talking about these young men?
Well, that's what's difficult. They are young men and they're college kids, and you get into the pep rally, and you have a big win like Virginia Tech did. They were excited about obviously just playing Ohio State, and then you go up there and you win the game. All of a sudden they can't help it. They're reading the papers and hearing the media, and everyone's talking conference championship, and and on and on and on, and now all of a sudden they're in a dogfight and they're fighting. So that's as a head coach, and Beamer does as good a job as anybody. He's been through it all. He's had the highs, the lows. So that he was saying the right things to his team, and usually when you get into that type of situation, you hope that you have good leaders, because that's what I've always felt like. When you had a bad loss and you had to bounce back and put it behind you, or when you had a great win and you had to put it behind you. As a coach, you can only say so much, but the majority of your team, they're going to follow the leaders. And, in Virginia Tech, particularly on offense, they're awful young. They are awful young right now, and I'm sure, that the leadership there is not as strong as what you'd like it to be.
The great Coach Dave Wannstedt joining us here on Fox College Football today. Coach, another big game, Georgia at South Carolina. We know Georgia is a big favorite coming into this game, at least from a fan perspective. But South Carolina came out not looking good against Texas A&M. Now they get another chance to defend their home stadium. From a coaching perspective, if you're Steve Spurrier, what are you telling your team? Everyone's saying it's a must-win and you can't have a second conference loss, but throughout meetings this week and on the practice field, what is the mindset you're trying to instill in your team in really a must-win game against a very talented Georgia team?
Well, the emotions are going to take care of themselves because they're playing at home. So Steve doesn't have to worry about that. So I'm not going to even get into that part. I'm going to play a little bit on the history of this game. Hey, guys, we've won, the last 3 out of 4, I think it is. You know what I mean? So we've had plenty of success. We've got the formula to beat Georgia, okay? We're going to have the game plan to do it. We just got to go out and execute it. And what I think they're going to do, I think, they're going to, if they got to play 10 guys up front, I mean, I look for them to really, do everything they can to stop Todd Gurley. If I'm Steve Spurrier, I'm going to walk into my defensive coaches and I'm going to say, I don't care if they score 100 points. I do not want Todd Gurley rushing for 200 yards. Stop him and make him throw the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen, I believe. And then it's going to be a matter of Georgia's passing game versus South Carolina's pass coverage. We'll see what happens.
You're good at this, Coach, man. You got to. We hire you. Dave Wannstedt doing a tremendous job, college football analyst at Fox Sports 1. Coach, enjoyed the games today.
Okay, thank you. Good being on with you guys.
All right, Dave Wannstedt. Coach. He's good. He's really good. I mean, this is his first time.
The power of the stash.
Huh? How about that? Really covering it all. We're keeping our eye. This is just a stunning upset so far. Again, when he mentions that Frank Beamer has been at Virginia Tech forever, should be the one coach to be able to handle the emotions of his team coming off that big upset on the road against Ohio State, and to watch East Carolina, the Pirates, just go up and down the field, 21-0 right out of the chute at Virginia Tech. Embarrassing for Tech.
Well, again, you're taking the mindset of players. And I remember when you can get overconfident, went up to Notre Dame in 2003. We won big. We get a little overconfident. You're not as focused in practice. You get upset the next week. And we see a lot of confidence from Virginia Tech after beating Ohio State. Now they come home and they come out flat. East Carolina came to play.
We continue with our insider previews. UCLA at Texas, Purdue at Notre Dame. It's college football today. Harbin and Ricks rolling on next.
We are.
Hey Adam, those burgers gonna be done before summer's over?
Maybe. Why? You got big plans for the summer?
Not really. Just the usual, kids hanging around the house. How about you?
Actually, I'm having Joshua get his pilot's license this summer.
What? Is he old enough? Can you really do that in just the summer?
Yeah, you can get your pilot's license at 17, and the summer is plenty of time. Plus, this could be the start to his career as an airline pilot.
That is a great idea. I bet Tyler would love that. Actually, I would too.
You guys should do it.
I don't have time for that. Some of us have to work for a living, you know?
Not you, no. Seriously, they work around your schedule.
Really? That's cool. Where are you going?
Ocala Aviation, at the airport off 60th.
How'd you hear about it?
I heard about it on the radio, then I stopped in. I've got a card if you want the number.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my phone.
Hurry up, the burgers are burning.
Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
861-7484.
Hold on, I missed a number.
Such a slacker. Here it is again. 861-7484.
Excellent. I'm going to call them now.
How about we eat before you start your new adventure?
That's probably a good idea.
You think?
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike's Got Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Okay, easy. All right, set her down. Over there. Easy.
What are you doing?
Oh, honey, you're home early. Nothing.
Really? Because it looks to me like you've torn up the entire yard with this giant tractor.
Not all of it. There is a small section over there I didn't
That's
get.
not even funny. Why are you tearing up my yard?
Well, the sprinkler head broke.
So you thought it was a good idea to fix it with a huge tractor?
Well, not at first, but then when I tried to fix it, I hit the main line. Thought it would be a good idea if...
all of this was a good idea? Here's an idea. Why don't you just call Mike's Got Plumbing? It's that easy. In fact, let me help you out with that. 237-2888.
But it's the weekend.
I know. They don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Remember the commercials? If water runs through it, they do it. And they're already on their way. So get this monstrosity out of my yard.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
A crane? Really?
Sign up for this year's Marion County Heart Walk and be part of a local movement that's helping others live longer, healthier lives. Join me, Corey Poole, your 2014 Marion County Heart Walk Chairman, and walk with me on Saturday, October the 4th at the Baseline Road Trailhead. It's a free event promoting physical activity and heart-healthy living. To find out how you can help fight the #1 killer of all Americans, visit us online at marionheartwalk.org.
The hottest CD deal this summer is with Florida Credit Union. Our summer CD special includes a short 25-month term combined with 1.51% APY. Take advantage of this high-yield CD special. Offer good till September 30th, 2014. In DeLand, call 386-738-4717. In Ocala, call 352-237-8222. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA. Offer subject to change at any time. $10,000 minimum.
You've got a garden, and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
WOCA. Here that we were trying to make that into more than it actually was in the Notre Dame locker room.
Coach Kelly always emphasizes to ignore the noise, so we really focused on our preparation and our execution and practice. Of course we were excited, because this was, Michigan, and this was the last time we were going to play them. But it came down to, being prepared and executing.
T.J. Reeves.
There's so many different facets to the story.
Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
We are Fox Sports!
As a college student, I'm making sure to get the H1N1 flu vaccine. You see, if you're my age, the threat of this year's flu season is very real because young adults are particularly vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu virus. That's why I'm urging people my age to get vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. Get the facts. Go to flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Our embassy in Uganda warning U.S. citizens to stay indoors overnight because of the threat of a possible terror plot. Meanwhile, Secretary of State John Kerry trying to build support for the fight against Islamic State militants.
It's only a matter of time before the threat of terrorism anywhere becomes a threat of terrorism everywhere.
Speaking in Cairo, Egypt, a short while ago, Vikings running back Adrian Peterson processed overnight and released from jail in Texas, where he faces charges for causing injury to his 4-year-old.
When the child came home to Eden Prairie, the mother took him to a regularly scheduled doctor's visit. The doctor's report describing open wounds in the child's thighs, backs, buttocks, and defensive cuts on his little hands. The doctor called Child Protection, and the Montgomery County attorney in Texas took it to a grand jury. An arrest warrant for Peterson issued.
Tom Lydon of Fox affiliate KMSP. Fox News. We report, you decide.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof, but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.